Well, I'll just go live. I'll just do a brief introduction, let everybody know what's going on. Hello, good evening, and welcome to episode 10 of The Hive Mind. Now, what I've been doing is I've been downloading all the videos from Facebook, the ones we put on there, onto my computer, and I'm going to upload them over this weekend, do some work onto the channel, so you can watch every video we've made, because the first few are very enlightening on the enlightened ones. And yeah, once we've got a good basis and a good foundation, the viewers can build upon these things and see a bit more of what we're talking about, because a lot of the conversations we've already had before, especially between me and a few of my guests. So we're talking like we know each other, and we know what and we know what everybody's on about. Whereas sadly, the viewers, if they've just started to tune in, just started to come over from the Daily Brexit to the Hive Mind, and just started to start to tune in and get to know us, they're not going to fully be aware of the some of the esoterics, some of the previous history, some of the previous episodes we've gone through, previous topics we've gone through, and ideas we've challenged. So I'm going to get all those. I'm going to put them up onto YouTube. Try and organise it a little bit better, because this was done a bit spare at the moment, bit as and when we could. And yeah, I'm going to upload them to DTube and hopefully PewTube as well, just to increase our platform basis, because I know Facebook is a very popular platform, but it's a platform that needs to go away. So there's a bit of an introduction for all the little viewers out there. I'm not 100% sure of what exactly we're going to be going on the topic of this evening. I wasn't there live on the Daily Brexit, so I've missed that part of the show. So yeah, let's carry on. Let's see what's going on with the world. And if anybody would like to join, send me a private message, send me a direct message, any way you can. We'll have a look into you and see if you'd be welcome to come on the show and voice your opinions and state some facts. Let's have some brew. Right, so English Patriot, Futurism. Yeah, it's just shared a link with us. I'm not sure what it says on the link, and I don't want to risk gambling and clicking on it now and everything going off. So I might have a look at that later on after the show. But if it's something of importance, if you can do a quick summary of it, maybe we already know things about this and shed light upon it. So
this article,
from the English Patriot. I'm sure that was a film, wasn't it?
So that article is about Facebook's Building 8.
So remember, is that like when they on the movie, when they were all little geeks sat around on the computer having that little programming party, supposedly? If you remember that film.
I've not watched the film.
It was pretty crap, but
that's why I didn't watch it. So in 2016, Facebook announced the launch of Building 8, a research lab to develop hardware projects in the style of DARPA, the Internet
so is this
trying to get through it? Google's Advanced Project Division before taking on Building 8. So the head of the division was Regina Duggan.
Regina Duggan?
Regina Duggan, yeah.
You don't get many Reginas nowadays, do you?
No. It's a very distinguished name.
Yes.
So it has a range of innovations, one being augmented reality.
Wait. Augmented reality? That's more like lying to the mass public to push a narrative. Or is that like Pokemon Go, where it's got a little picture dancing about in front of the camera?
Augmented reality is so for you, you would have like lenses in your eyes.
Ah, yeah. Like Pokemon
and-
Go, but a lot more technically advanced. So you've got a heads-up display on your iris, like with contact lenses on, or those Google Glassy things, and you've got a heads-up display, and you can, click about on there whilst you're still getting run over by a car. You get to see the car whilst it hits you.
And to the other viewers, it looks like you have like objects in your hands, but you don't actually have an object. It's just an augmented reality.
Yeah,
Also, it's a bit like virtual reality, but a lot more in depth.
Well, it's like virtual reality, but it's putting virtual things into actual reality. Instead of taking the whole reality plane away, it's augmenting or adding to this reality that we're living in.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it deals with little flying things being drones.
Yeah.
Also brain scanning and AI.
Augmented reality AI.
Oh no, just
I wonder what augmented reality is going to do with when it's combined with AI. Because we all see.
They're possibly not even combining them. They're just using them.
Yeah, possibly. Like, yeah, so they could put a form of transmitter, let's say outside your house, and then the drone can see the augmented reality coming from that transmitter. So it sees.
No, the augmented reality is not for that. Augmented reality.
No, I'm just putting it into a practical form of having it as an AI and having it in the real world. So if you had the transmitter outside the person's house with all of their data on it, the augmented reality machine, the augmented reality AI, can see like the list of what it is on that in sort of its augmented reality, and the person that was flying the drone, or if it's not completely AI, can see that on their display, on their heads-up display. So it can go past your house and it'll say, this person works this much, earns this much, and has this much mortgage, pays this much in electricity, pays this much in this, pays this much in this. And all of your data can be there, ready to be harvested by... That's a bit taking it a bit far, but... Yeah. So they could be use their heads-up display, their augmented reality, whilst they're still there sat at the computer, watching other things on another screen. All right, yeah, so let's get back to what Facebook's been up to. This is DARPA and Facebook working together.
No.
Well, they have been,
it's
but...
the style of DARPA. But... they got 4 sections of what they're doing in regards to it. So, it's very interesting and very
dystopian.
What I would say, a little bit sinister.
Yeah, gradually taking our steps towards the dystopian world of the future.
To a more aiming towards a singularity rather than a singularity future rather than a dystopia.
Well, for our viewers, put the singularity into words.
So singularity is the capability of AI robots to do whatever humans can do. So when you see it on the films with like robots with like these gel brains,
that's
like kind of the effect it is.
Like Blade Runner.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bit like that.
A bit like Blade Runner, a bit like androids running around.
And they can all connect and all be as one. And yeah, it's very it's interesting to look into, but you definitely don't want it in the world.
Yeah, you know, the Internet of Everything coming into place on this one as well, isn't it? The 5G network and the Internet of Everything. So everything talking to everything and everything knows everything. With not one central brain location or central collection database or central administration database, because it will do, I believe it will do all of those, taking all of the information into one central place, but there'll be others dotted around the world. Oh, yeah. So, how far do we see ourselves along this road? Because I see ourselves quite far along this road.
Singularity is very, very far off yet.
Oh yeah.
But we're talking 50 to 60 years away.
Well, if they get quantum computing correct, then, and I think they might have already got it correct, and they're hiding it from us like usual.
But they haven't got everything on a mass scale. They can probably do it on a small scale with one or two, but not lots.
Yeah, you know, they're gonna baby step us all the way into it like they always do. Little bit. Oh well, your phone's now connected to your nice new telly, and your nice new telly is connected to the lights outside. Something daft like that. So your telly turns up its brightness when the darkness outside is dark. Something daft like that. But it's all communicating to a central database and all gathering all of that information. So it knows when you're watching telly.
They have the capabilities from 70,000 feet to do facial recognition whilst you're walking down the street with a drone. Now, 70,000 feet, right? Planes fly at like 20, maximum 30. So, you think how high tech these drones are?
Oh, they're made and bred for made for one single purpose. So you make a drone to do one thing. Like Nigel said in the comments here that we've had a look into it, but you know those little mini drones that we talked about before that would fly in and explode on people's heads. Yeah, he's mentioned those.
A movie, but yes.
Yeah, it is quite a movie, but I don't see him shying away from it. They will use drones to kill people.
I don't doubt they have them.
Yeah, definitely have them. Even
there's miniature drones you can buy from like gadget shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All you have to do is weaponize them. It's not that hard.
Yeah, all you need to do is stick an explosive on it, and there you go, floating, flying IED. And yeah, that's not too difficult for them to do, is it? That technology's been around for quite some time. And with these high altitude spy drones, these bred for one particular purpose, and that is to spy on people, to locate people, to track people wherever they may go. And once you know where someone is and their location, you can then target them with other drones or other things that can cause different effects.
The most worrying thing.
I'm trying to emphasize that they can do things apart from just killing people. Yeah, they can program them. They can.
The worrying thing is that Hillary Clinton owns the patent for any guided system. So that's autopilot or any guided system. So that'll be planes, cars, buses, lorries, trains, everything. She owns a patent for it. She can override the tracking systems. She has everything. She used to be the head of the patent office. She was a lawyer in the patent office in America.
So she's been cherry picking.
She's had access to every single patent
Mm.
you could imagine.
I wonder why these planes have been crashing.
And cars that just like, my brakes just locked up. They didn't work.
Yeah, because every new car has got a computer brain now.
Yes.
An
It's all
ECU.
computer.
Yeah, so they can either cut the engine off if they want, or like you said, they might be able to lock up the brakes or disable or dysfunction the brakes through the centralized computer.
Or speed it up. Lock up the accelerator.
Yeah, lock the accelerator in place. You know, that would be that'd be a hair-raising moment or two, wouldn't it? But yeah, and what's
People's cars not working when they're crossing over a railway.
mm,
It just randomly stops. And
and
they're like, I can't start my car. Oh, look into who that person is.
yeah,
And you'll find out why they was on that track.
yeah, and all of this technology being put into motor cars, a lot of it's just so a freaking light can flash on the dashboard, isn't it? You've got an engine warning light. Yeah, well, I've got an engine warning light. And that's all the computer's doing and all the computer's saying. Yeah, it might manage the fuel a bit, but you can do that with mechanics. You can, there's no real... Cars worked fine without robots in them.
Correct.
So, is that the...
If they're mechanical, not automated.
So we've got a new guest in the room, the right reverend Lucius.
Revolution.
Yeah, revolution. I tried to say it like reverend. That's it, reverend. Reverend Lucian.
Now, someone else had got Revolution the name, so I had to make it up with different little bits and pieces. So that's why.
Yeah.
It's Nigel, by the way.
Hey, Nigel, thank you for calling in. Great stuff, great
No
stuff.
problem. How are you?
We're very well. We're just
Good.
Yeah, you've probably been listening in to us. So, yeah, what is your thoughts on the subject at the moment, which is the computers?
Right. Well, many years ago, back in 1983, I did first year and a half of car mechanic apprenticeship, and computers were just coming into them a little bit, very small. Basically, if the car had a problem, the computer wouldn't turn the engine off. You could still use it.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the engine's got a problem, shuts it down, and you can't move the car. It won't let you move it.
Or it locks it in so-called limp mode, where you can only do 20 miles an hour. And, you're stuck on the motorway and it's only doing 20 miles an hour and you're like, ah! Yeah.
Yeah, my car does that. When I go over 8,000 revs, it kicks in the performance restriction on it, so the turbos don't work. But there you go. That's my own fault. But they never used to do that. So you could limp to a garage and you could take it to any garage you wanted to, and they'd be able to fix it. Because, like I said, it's purely mechanical.
Yeah, the person had control. The human being could control it.
Nowadays, it's so computerized that most of the time only a main dealer can do it. And you know what prices they charge?
Well, yeah, as much as they possibly can. But yeah, and
yeah,
they have this little.
Sorry,
and they can do it because they have the little computer that can talk to the little computer that's inside the car, so they can diagnose the so-called problem.
So instead of you actually, if you think about it, you own the car, you get to choose where you take it, or you used to choose which mechanic you wanted to. Now you're getting more and more forced to go to a main dealer and pay their big prices, which in turn, the main dealer needs to charge them big prices to pay the franchise to the manufacturer. Yeah,
and it's taking the work away from everyday Joe Blogs. There's a struggling mechanic down the road. From the local industry, from the local community business.
Correct. If you relate it to, say, computers in general, like your PC or your laptop, it's like Microsoft having when someone comes to fix your PC software or whatever, that they've got to input a code which is basically granted by Microsoft under license for them to use. They pay the money, they've got to charge you more, rather than you taking the mate around the corner who knows what he's doing.
That's it, yeah. So every PC engineer would have to be Microsoft regulated or registered.
Yeah, and the same for Apple. I mean, I know Apple is a little bit like that.
It is.
But that's coming more and more with everything. It's like they brought it in a couple of years ago, I think it was, with your electrics in your house. The only thing you're allowed to do is to change the fascia on your plug socket or your light switch. You are not allowed to touch any more of your electrics.
Yep. You can only change the light bulb. You have to get an electrician round to change the light bulb cover. Yeah.
You can change your plug socket fascia and your light switch fascia. If you do any more, you can do it, but you've got to get a qualified electrician in to come and test it all.
Yeah, to sign it off.
It's same as Corgi gas registered, which they've had for many years, but that was more on a safety thing.
Yeah, well, now, gas is gas. You know, it can blow up and stuff. Yeah. You know, they do it.
Now it's just making more money for the industries.
Yeah, it's taking our freedoms and liberties away. Just because some people have got an electric shock, or some people have hurt themselves
because they're a bit stupid.
Possibly, yes. Or
possibly common sense.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're trying to rewire your entire house, you don't try and do it yourself if you don't have a clue what you're doing.
You don't. But there are some idiots that do, or try to anyway.
Yeah.
But going on to your previous subject, which you was discussing about your autonomous vehicles and computers knowing who's in the house, what income, everything else like that.
Yeah.
You remember it just about 10 minutes ago, quarter of an hour ago?
Yeah, I remember it.
My uncle said to me back in the early 80s, he used to work for the GPO, which was General Post Office, which was the post office and BT all rolled into one.
Yeah. Now they privatised both of them.
Yeah, they did, yeah. And when he joined, he had to sign the Official Secrets Act. Because our telecoms was quite advanced back in those days, and it was where they've seen. Yeah, and he said to me, and I just wish I'd have taken more notice when I was younger. But he said to me, "They know more about you than you know about yourself." And that's all he said, and I went, "Who?" And he went, "You know who?" And it's sort of like, "Hey, what's he on about?" kind of thing, and it's only just recently, until you sort of like go down the rabbit hole, that you realise, bloody hell, they probably do. Yep. And all it takes is, like you say, the computer power to take all this information from your phone, your browsing history, what you watch on the TV, even if they do have the microphones in the TVs and whatever, and do record you, all that information. They know your habits because they can track your phone. They know where you go, and where you frequent. They even know where you work because they tie it into your national insurance number and tax. Your spending habits because of your
bank account,
debit card. What sort of car you drive because of your MOT and your DVLA and all that lot.
Your car insurance.
So not a great leap for having all that information in one place. And they know everything about you. And 6 to 8 months ago, I saw a video it was doing the rounds on Facebook, and it was a proper presentation about little drones, and they were autonomous drones, and they were only small.
Yeah.
And I put it in the comments on YouTube. It said that they can carry a small shot or a small charge.
Yep.
Lock onto you with face recognition, and they won't leave you alone until you're dead. It doesn't take a great leap of either engineering or imagination to get there, does it? Really?
I'm fully in the mindset of they've already done it. They have already got this technology right there, ready and waiting, and probably a buckload of Chinese people making them. Just going,
Yeah,
like they do.
In a sweatshop in China.
Yeah, built in a sweatshop in China. Hundreds of thousands of them. But, you know, that's only opinion. That's only speculation. But like I was just about to say that with all this data gathering that the government's doing, I think it was all ratified and put into place by this so-called Snoopers Charter that was designed to spy on terrorists and then various actions, whereas it's actually being used against absolutely everybody.
Oh, of course it does. Anybody who thinks differently needs a frontal lobotomy, really, don't they?
True. You know, we can see time and time again them using these terrorism laws as justification for a wide brushstroke over everybody.
Yeah, and I was just about to say a wide brushstroke about anything that they
challenges
don't like you talking about.
Yeah, anything that challenges them. They don't like that, and anything they don't like you talking about. But you were going to make another point, or move us on to something else?
You what, sorry?
You were supposed to move on to something else, or just supposed to make another point?
I was going to make another point, but I've forgotten what it was now, so you carry on.
Right, yeah. So, instead, the government has put it into place and put it into law right in front of our eyes, and using the guise of terrorism and this excuse to clamp down on our freedoms, which is obvious. Well, it's obvious to some of us.
Yes.
But completely mind-blowing for others. But you can see it happening time and time and time again. We saw it happening with what's her name? Laurel Southern, the journalist that wanted to enter the UK and then was stopped at the border.
The Canadian lady.
Yeah, on terrorism offences. The pretty blonde one.
Yes, yeah, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, stopped on terrorism offences. She ain't no freaking terrorist. She's one of the people we've got to protect.
Yeah, trumped up terrorist charges.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to piss the Muslims off. You're a terrorist.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. And it was only a small point. You said data gathering.
Yeah.
I changed the word gathering to harvest.
Yeah, we can change that. Data harvesting.
I think that's more of an apt name for it, really.
Well, yeah, because it gives it more grandiosa. It's on a much larger scale, and this is on a scale that I've got a big mind. Well, you know, I've got quite a good imagination. I can't even register it. It's that much.
Yeah, data gathering makes it out as though we've agreed to it.
Yeah.
More, you know, harvesting kind of just.
Yeah.
Just basically, they are reaping what they've sowed.
Yeah. That's it.
They've given us the tools to give them all the information they need, haven't they? Really?
Oh, most definitely. And they've loved that we've been lulled into this false sense of security with it. They love it.
Oh God.
They're just like, look, he's telling us exactly everything. He's giving us pictures of what he eats. He's giving us videos of that, all this, that, and the other. Ooh, he sent a dirty message to this woman that's not his wife. Right. We can use that against him somehow in the future. Yeah.
But
because we're not far away from that.
You're just thinking about the factual information that they're gathering about us. We could use it to our advantage and fill it full of crap, basically, and turn it the other way around.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from there. You know, one of the best things we did during the Second World War was deception, was deceiving the opposition. Something that another culture does extremely well is deception.
Yeah, so if we all pretend to be lefty snowflakes,
or super far right, if you're well, a lot of us are already there, but yeah, the left and right have been confused.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure all of this metadata, all of this information from people saying, look, I'm against mass immigration. Oh, you're far right, Nazi terrorist. Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that share that same opinion, and there's a bookload more of us than them, and I think that scares them. Yeah. And I think a lot of these algorithms now have been designed to quieten this voice, to either appease a little bit of it or put it into a little box over there in the corner so they can try and stay away from it.
Yeah, and slant the other way. I've got an echo on here. Something.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, it can only be me. Oh, sugar. You're coming through loud and clear on my broadcast.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of an echo. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's not happy with the little speakery bit. Right, it's good.
I've just turned YouTube off. Feedback works. Nope, no echo. Might be me.
Well, just say a nice full sentence.
The quick brown fox jumped over whatever it was supposed to do so we can know the full alphabet. That one?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yep, that was right. That was fine.
Yeah, no echo. So we got David on and we got Glenn on.
No, Glenn was on earlier. He seems to have shot off to do something else. I'm not sure what he's up to. But
oh, right, okay. Anybody else on?
No. We're still keeping the blinds quite narrow at the moment.
Anybody else watching?
Yeah, there's a couple of people watching.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Was Brexit on today? Daily Brexit on tonight?
Yeah, the Daily Brexit was on, but I missed it. I wasn't there ready for it, so.
Yeah, I was. I had a bowls match, so I couldn't watch it. I was too busy getting some gentle exercise.
That's that's the way it should be. It should be. No need to go running up mountains and stuff.
No.
Yeah, just a nice brisk walk here, there, and everywhere. Yeah.
I do exercise briskly twice a week. I play table tennis as well, so that gives me the energetic side of it.
And the hand-eye coordination, because that's something you have to keep up as well. Because if you stop, you stop working with your hands, stop working with your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Or is that an excuse for the aluminium poisoning that they've been doing?
Well, they say there's a link with aluminium.
Oh yeah.
And fluoride, is it as well?
Yeah.
To do with
mental capacity.
Is it Parkinson's? What's the other one?
Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and dementia.
Right. Yes.
They've all seemed
to, with Alzheimer's.
Yeah. They all seem to have skyrocketed recently.
Well,
or is it just
back when I was a lot younger?
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't as many. There was bipolar, autism, ADHD, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. Yes, it was there. It was probably called something different or just wrapped up under one umbrella. But there was, I've got echo again. There was nowhere near as many or as much as what there is today.
Yeah, but it can't. Some of it must be down to a population growth. Some of it must be. It's ecumenical.
Yeah. What was the population in 1980? Say.
I wouldn't have a clue, but I'd say about 50 million, 45, 50 million.
So he's gone at what, 13, 17 million?
At a guess. No, I think it might be a bit further than that because of. And to be honest with you, I don't trust the freaking government statistics. How many goddamn illegals are here that are
if that's the case, that's about a 33% increase.
Yeah, I'd say that's a.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sure there's more of an increase than what you're seeing nowadays to what there was back then.
Yeah.
Only just going on, your own observations without using statistics.
Almost definitely, yeah. Because a lot of we're not. I do like to have experts that have checked facts and checked everything, and are fully aware of what they've come to say and what we say. But a lot of what I say and is a lot of what I see and what I experience in my real life.
Yeah, that gives you a better perspective on things, I think.
Yeah, because if you just trust you can't trust what the media says, but if you just trust what the statisticians say, like a lot of the evidence for global warming or climate shift or man-made
Yeah.
climate shift change
Yeah.
is skewed
Yeah.
data. It's only data from one side of the argument.
It is, definitely.
So it takes a lot for, the statistics can be abused in exactly the same way as the truth, and the media can abuse anything.
Yeah, well, they were in that original global warming analysis years ago that East Anglia University did, I think it was.
Mhm.
They were paid by, obviously, the people who are saying that it is warming up, obviously.
Yep.
But they did this report, put it all out, and obviously, like you said, things can be skewed. And it wasn't until years later, one of the guys on it, doing the report, not the main guy, but one of them taking part, he came out and turned around and said, well, load of bollocks. They twisted what we said. They paid for it, so obviously they wanted the results to go in the right direction. And they twisted all the data that we put out to say that, yeah, it is, if you like, artificially getting hotter and quicker than what it should be, when basically he just said it's the Earth's natural cycle.
Or the sun's natural cycle.
Don't forget. So, as many others, people are found patents to weather modification, right? Now, if the Green Party was so hell-bent on saving the planet, making it more peaceful, why haven't they spoke about geoengineering and such things? Because that would have an effect on the environment.
Because if these politicians actually brought it to public light, then there would have to be some form of public announcement and some form of public investigation into it, and they don't want this because they know that they know that it's wrong. So if it's brought to light, all of the geoengineering has to stop because people like us would investigate it, and if it's investigatable as a full fact instead of a conspiracy theory, which is not conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy fact, because we can see it when you look up in the sky.
There's paper trail evidence.
There's paper trail. Yeah, there is.
The ex-CIA director Bannon admitting it.
Yeah,
it's out there. People just refuse to accept it because they're cognitive dissonance.
Well, it's one of those, and if we actually addressed the Green Party, actually said, "Oh, the government's doing geoengineering to save the planet," then the government the government would have to admit to it, and evidence would be needed.
Plus the Green Party wouldn't exist.
Couldn't.
It wouldn't, would it?
Yeah, it wouldn't. Bye, Green Party.
And like Rev said, he's controlled opposition.
Yeah,
they're paid for. That's all they are. They're probably common purpose. Look into it.
Who are the donors for the likes of the Green Party and all these environmental lobbyists? Who are the donors behind it?
Big oil, and probably Soros. And probably Soros.
Well, I wouldn't surprise.
Done through shell companies or foundations or NGOs or charities, all done like that. So it can be traced back, but you've got to jump through hoops, do a little dance around town, talk to the Reverend, and get it all the information that way.
If you analyse it and not analyse it, but just question and think about it rationally, you think, okay, why have we got this environmental lobbyists and Greens and all this lot if they're not actually doing anything or not seem to be doing anything? And I think, are they there just to show that someone's doing something or appears to be doing something so that everybody else can go, oh, it's all right, we've got them doing it, we can sit back and do nothing, so we don't take any notice of what's going on because we've got after them for it.
Great angle. Great angle there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, very great angle. It's just to a little pantomime. Oh, look, someone is doing something. Won't have to worry about it. But it's the same as if you look at cancer research. Now, for how long has cancer research been going? 100 years over?
I don't know, but they've been going as long as I can remember, which was back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because 1980, my mum died of cancer when I was 13. And all these things were highlighted in front of me, cancer research and all this lot. And I thought, yeah, good cause, obviously, yeah. And then you get a bit older, a bit wiser, and you think, well, they've had probably billions of pounds over the decades, and they've done fuck all about it.
Umpteen billions.
Yeah, but they haven't. The one of the most important things they haven't mentioned.
Yeah,
is the Cancer Act 1939.
Correct.
Now, if cancer research was so dedicated to well, they're cure. The thing is that they're chasing their tail because they're trying to cure cancer. Well, there is no cure, but there is a perfect remedy for cancer. But they don't tell you this because they're like, we've got to get a cure. Got to get a cure.
Well, Glenn, the name.
There is no cure.
Glenn, the name says it all. Cancer research. It's not Cancer Cure Foundation or Cancer Stop Foundation. No, it's cancer research. So to be in existence,
they tell them to
they have to research it.
They tell them to eat meats and all of this kind of like orange juices and all this acidic foods and stuff. And it's like, no, you need an alkaline body. You need to get your body back in zen, right? All in tune with each part, and then the ailment will start disappearing. Get yourself into a positive state of mind. And that's the thing, they put them in a negative state of mind from the off. And me, if I was told that I had cancer, right, do you know what I'd do tomorrow?
Start fighting it.
Well, yeah, I'd continue what I'm doing. I wouldn't change anything apart from I'd take a bit more CBD oil, I'd have colloidal silver, and I'd have more distilled water, and I would fast more often. Like do a 5-day fast, and then after a couple of weeks, I'd do a 6-day, and then a 7-day, and then an 8-day, and build it up, and go from there.
Glenn?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Glenn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Quick question. Salt, table salt, is that acidic or is it alkaline?
Acidic, and it's terribly bad for you.
The reason being is when my mum got cancer, she went on, and I can remember the books, Salt-Free Diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was in late 70s.
If you have pink Himalayan salt, that's good for you.
I've got that.
Yeah,
that is really, really good for you. And obviously in moderation, you don't want to overdo it. But yeah, that's completely fine.
Well,
it's that Sax's table salt.
Yeah, chlorinated salt.
No one go near that. It's disgusting. That's why. And just think, in McDonald's, I see them with their table salt shakers giving lashings of this salt over oily fries, so it seeps in.
You've let the side down by admitting you're going McDonald's.
Oh no, I don't go in McDonald's. I from prior experience. Actually, I've walked in there on an occasion when I've been with other people. Then I walk straight back out again because I remember the smell
of cardboard.
It makes me physically sick. I hate it. I can't even be in the same room as someone eating it.
Yeah. Well, I the last time I went to McDonald's a few months ago, there was armed police officers with 9mm guns. Then I found out that the whole fast food restaurant and the whole chain is now halal, and is sponsored by the RSPCA. How the fuck do those go together?
But I don't know if it's true, but McDonald's released a statement saying that none of their food is halal.
I've seen it on the freaking menu boards. I've seen it on a little picture outside, the little halal squiggle. So they're lying. They're either lying to them or they're lying to us. and I can pretty much guarantee that they're lying to us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The turkey bacon they can serve. Turkey bacon?
Yeah,
You
Now
should
and again,
what
I
you call
must
it, take pictures of it and what you call it, whack it up on Facebook and on Twitter and stuff like that.
Well, you can see with the large Muslim majority that are in there, they're at least one of them will only eat halal, so they're eating there, so they must be eating halal.
Well, you say that, right? I've caught a couple of Muslims out with this halal business and the pig business.
Oh, mate, I've
I caught a Muslim eating
I've seen it for what it is.
I thought you're not meant to eat that. I was like, you subscribe to Allah and you subscribe to Muhammad, didn't you?
You're going to hell.
Muhammadan. And I was like, and you're eating pork. I was like, so you're definitely not part of the caliphate then.
Well,
and he looked at me and was like, you know too much.
Yeah, he looks at you and you know too much. Yeah, that's about it. But no, let's get away from that.
My wife, when she was a kid, her parents used to run a language school, and they used to get a lot of Arabs in, basically learning English before they can go to basically be trained by the RAF pilots. It was a lot of it, so they had to learn English, a lot of it.
Yeah,
and they used to have them living in as well. And in the morning for breakfast, they never touched bacon, but they had breakfast slices, which you all know what that is. It's like a sausage, but
repurposed.
It's like
pig meat.
It's shaped like a tin of corned beef, but it's pork. They had that, even though they knew it was pork.
Well, it's one of those. They're told that halal is not a what is it? A concrete in their religion. If they can't eat halal food, they are allowed to eat other things. But they must prefer to eat it. If they can't eat it, they have to eat it. But I see it as it is just simply a monopoly on the food market that guarantees them to have jobs and guarantees that a lot of their money stays within their community.
Political.
It's political, totally and utterly political, and fascist. It's not just political; it's fascist because it's their government sort of thing, a government regulating body, their government regulating what the private business can sell. Fascism.
Do you know the history of why they can't eat pork?
Because it doesn't keep well in a desert, and it makes you ill.
Exactly. Yeah. The first meat to go off and the worst one is pork.
Or Jews come. Oh wait, no, Jews evolved from pigs. That's why you can't eat pork, because the Jews evolved from the pig. I'm quoting.
I don't understand, right? How people go around saying that, like, Jews. I'm not saying all Jews, but are like this. But Jews don't believe in Christ or anything. They literally believe in Satanism, covered up in different words.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that on our special esoteric show. That was a really good show. One of the first shows we did, that one. It was really, really good. I'm going to be uploading that soon. So anybody who's watching,
that'd be good. I'd like to listen to that again. To be fair, myself.
Yeah, it's there on Facebook, but then you got to go through the Hive Mind on Facebook. It's a lot harder to find. But now we've got the gov.ly/hive, which brings you straight to this page. That if you can all share, everybody share it, goodness. Get everybody watching.
Is that link for the YouTube page?
Yeah. guv.ly.li/hive.
And do you type that into a browser?
Yep, you type that into a browser, type it into Google. Easy enough.
That's all right, because there's a lot of people out there who are wondering, where do I type it? That's all I'm saying. Putting it there. Because we are actually dropping, just through natural progression of people knowing the internet, we are dropping www.colon /HTTPS. We'd kind of drop in that and just going with the actual main context and the .com or .gov or whatever. So it's
because of the new algorithms in the internet search engines automatically put before the first word or first letter, they put HTTPS colon / colon www. It's automatically through their algorithm in their system or their coding in their system. It automatically puts it on there.
Because once you put a full stop in the browser search and it searches for a site rather than a search topic.
All right.
Instead of trying to search.
The only reason why I say it is, Ollie on the Daily Brexit.
Yeah.
Is fund is paypal.me /Brexit. I typed that into a browser and it wouldn't bloody find it. And I went into PayPal because I've got an account on PayPal, typed it in there, and it just wouldn't find it. It just wouldn't do it. So I'm thinking, am I missing the plot here? And I used to teach a little bit of IT, and I thought, right, back to basics, Brown. So I put in HTTPS, the usual blab, and did the full address after it, and it took me straight to it. And I'm thinking, I wonder if other people are struggling with that. That's the only reason why I put it out there. That's all.
Yes, and I think we might start monetizing this show as well, maybe a bit later on. Once we get more popular, because it's.
I mean, you're doing it voluntary now. Obviously, you're doing it voluntary, so and I don't mean to be pedantic or anything. So obviously, you can sort of like afford what you're doing now.
Kind of.
All right.
But
all right, you can, even if you're paying out a little bit yourself, it's still affordable because it's still going.
Yeah.
So even if you get £1 per person, it all helps, doesn't it? It's like Ollie says, I'd rather get £1 per person off lots of people than just one big payment sporadic.
Than one Soros donor.
It's all about sustainability, isn't it?
Well, that's it. And I do need to start increasing the range of this. Start broadcasting live on different channels and different programs and on different websites. And I can't do that with I've shown Glenn a picture of the fantastic technology I'm using. I don't even have a microphone. Don't even have a proper webcam.
You use what you've got, don't you? At the time. I said to my wife, because I'm just using a tablet at the minute. We've got two laptops upstairs. One's serviceable and one's got a cracked screen. I've got a separate monitor that I could plug it in to do the monitor. We've got a kitchen table in the dining room. And I said to her, I'd like a proper computer table with a proper iSpec computer PC to do either radio or live streaming and stuff, and also listen and interact and stuff. And I mentioned the other day, I said, well, we've got the kitchen, we've got the table, which I can pull the leaf out and get a laptop going and plug that in. She says, but you're making do, aren't you? And I went, well, at the minute, And she says, if you make do now, you always will do. So she said, wait until we can afford to do it properly, even if it's a basic properly. At least you've got the basic kit to start with, which you can build on. Rather than
I'm glad you said that, Nigel, because that's exactly what I've done. I was going to half budget and do a little bit, but then I thought to myself, if I'm going to do it, I may as well do it properly. And even if I do it at a low spec, but properly, in regards to not having like a server, my own server unit, even if it's just one server. But what I'm going for first is I'm getting a high-end spec gamer PC, so it can handle it 24 hours a day. It's not going to be a problem. It's going to have like inside cooling, as well as fans. decent graphics, sound, and motherboards and that. And then once I can afford it, or I can help get donations, then I can get a server and put a server in. Then I can put it all onto a server and it can just sit there and run, and I haven't really got to worry about it. Just swap and change around with a few modifications and whatnot. And as it gets bigger, probably get another server unit. And then put the server unit and link it up so it's got a bit more speed. Or if it's got the ability to put more RAM and in it, then I can put more RAM or whatnot in it. So it can get there. But yeah, I'm doing it properly. I'm getting a proper setup. It's going to be what it should be.
Well, I'm a hodgy bodger.
No. But what you've done, Dave,
no,
fantastic.
because I've seen it from another angle.
You know what I mean?
I've seen it from another angle of thinking, fuck it, someone needs to do this. Somebody needs to do this. Let's get it going. And let's get it going.
But my thinking is yours. Your setup's okay for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But I'm setting up a 24-hour
that we're all going to
week live stream or broadcast. So it'll have to be an individual or a high-end spec thing because it's going to be running continuously day in, day out. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it at such a different level. Because otherwise, if I was just doing it for a couple of hours, I could just do it off my phone or whatnot. It wouldn't really matter. And a computer, that wouldn't really matter.
Quick question, guys.
Yep.
We're using other people's platforms. We're using Facebook. We're using YouTube. Now, I know for a fact it's out there. You can create a website. Yeah, anyone can create a website. You buy your space and you put your website up. And how hard is it to have your website where people can, if you like, log on and do a live stream?
Okay, so the problem with that would be is it's expensive unless if you've got your own server and you can manage the website yourself. Otherwise, you've got to pay for server usage. Now, that is, it can be in different ways you can pay for that, whether it be in how many people visit the page, how many people go doing live streams, the uploads, the download speeds. Yeah. Companies will charge quite a lot of money to run those. So that's why, like most companies, like my company, it's not a massive company. It's actually quite small, but it has its own servers because to rent server space or server usage, one, you're risking data protection, and two, it's just really expensive. It really is. The upkeep to pay for someone to upkeep a website. Depend if it's live streaming, you're probably talking about 10 grand a month. It's a lot of money. About 10 grand a month.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
That's why only certain corporations can do it.
So if right, say for example, you know the Motivate radio.
Yeah.
And the Motivate Social.
Yeah.
So basic, because I'm just flabbergasted the amount, because when the internet in its inception first came out, all right, for the first couple of years it was expensive, and then it went really cheap to get everybody on board. And when it went really cheap, hosting used to be really, really cheap.
Not anymore.
With that, what you've just said, so if you're talking 10 grand a month, depending on traffic, so from the offset, you're going to be better off financially to get your own server, like you said, Brad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. And the thing is because the reason why I say it'll cost about 10 grand is because of the live streaming ability.
Yeah, the upkeep.
that's what causes the upload, the download, the ping, the traffic, the constant ability of being able to keep that live stream going. Does that make sense?
And the constant need for maintenance of it.
Having your maintenance of it. So having your own server is it's more beneficial,
but
without a doubt.
But then if you're hosting video, if you're hosting video upon that server, you're going to need a lot of server and a lot of server space.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
If you've got your own server and people log on to cast their live shows, surely do you need the RAM or do you need the hard drive space?
Well, you see,
both. You need a combination of everything. You need RAM, hard drive space. You need a good processors or a lot of processors joining together as one.
Yep.
Graphics. There's a lot that goes into it, and then you've got the cooling systems, and then you've got the linking, the cabling, even on the server side. So there'll be always people there coding and keeping up with any breaks or links that might be thereabouts. It comes quite an expensive game. That's why, like Facebook and stuff like that, why they had to monetize what they was doing, like adverts, and then they started just selling everyone's information.
But I suppose if it was
the reason why, because they can't sustain it because of like, think of the millions of people that are live streaming every day.
Well,
there's a lot of data going.
But you could instead of taking live streaming, if you could do it sort of Twitter style and have 5-minute uploads, so you can only upload a 5-minute video clip, that'd take away a lot of the necessary energy and necessary expenditure. But it does limit the process and limit the program. But Twitter only has 150 syllables to a tweet.
Yeah.
So if it could
not only that, but you can link up Periscope with Twitter, which is another full-on
streaming
video
service,
casting. It's very hard.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of
if you've got
a solution,
enough money, it's fine.
Yeah.
If you haven't got the money, it's really not. And on this sort of level, having a high-end like gamer's computer, because mine, I'm whacking a decent monitor and my 32-inch TV to it. So I've got loads of space for loads of different things to be open. I could have like 4 different web pages open on my big TV, or 6, and it would just look like a normal size page. Each one of them would. Then I can click on each individual one of them and I can link them up, and then on my next one I can have active working and whatnot. Yeah.
Can I come back? Can I just come in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, guys. I don't want to interrupt and everything. So going just with what you've said about paying for services to do this kind of thing, have we gone full circle and gone back to the car manufacturer who insists that when that car breaks down, you take it back to a main dealership? Same thing. If you want to do some decent web hosting with live stream, you've got to go to a decent car dealership to do it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And that's how they've forced it. They've forced it that way. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't.
And I've just got that. We're just listening to you two guys. And the other point, if you started doing that and you had your servers at home and doing it yourself, if you're with Virgin, all right, they give you free unlimited uploads, downloads, and inloads and outloads and all that lot. But would they class you as commercial? So they'd have to up your premium.
Yes.
No. Because no.
Wait.
Because
wait.
Unlimited.
Wait. If something went wrong, and you said, "Well, I've got servers in the house and I need to do this," boom, you won't get any compensation or anything. You won't get any. if they went down and took your servers away and it broke.
How would they take the servers away?
No, because your servers are doing a purpose and they have to be connected to the internet. If the internet connection went down,
but how are they going to take them away? How will an internet company or
I'm not saying taking them away or taking them physically away. Not taking physically, but taking away their ability.
Are you talking about stopping my internet?
Yeah. If you stop your internet, or if the internet broke, if the cable got cut somehow.
That's fine. I'd get them to come out and I'd get them to fix it. I don't have to tell them that I'm running a server. I'll just say the internet's down.
Yeah, but they could take up to 2 to 3 weeks.
That's like telling the police. That's like telling the police all of your details, and then or telling the thief the combination to your safe in your house. You don't tell them what you're doing.
Glenn, I used to work for BT, so I know exactly how they do it. I've dealt with cases like this for BT, not for Virgin.
If I'm just running a single server, it's not. If I was going to run a tower of servers, then I would go and rent a space, and I'd have to get commercial internet. But if I'm just running one broadcast, like say I was broadcasting onto, or a couple of broadcasts onto YouTube and onto Gab for a computer, for a broadcasting system, there'd be no qualms in what they were thinking I was doing.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Most people watch TV on the internet now, or use things through the internet. So the internet is continuously going 24/7. So they don't really notice. They would only notice if I had more than 3 server units, I would imagine, because you would spread the systems across those 3 servers, not clog up one server and then go on to the next one. You'd spread it out between the 3, so they don't take as much speed, each individual one.
But they can see more than you believe. But next thing, Glenn, next thing,
they wouldn't turn it off because of that. Right?
No, they could do, yes. But Glenn, like I'm just about to say, is so in the business world, if your servers went down, or if the internet was lost to your servers, they would get out and fix it as quickly as they possibly could. With it being in the home, they can take up to 2 weeks to come out to fix it. So your servers are down for 2 weeks.
That's standard. Even if you're, but that's the standard. If you've got a broken boiler, it would take them 2 weeks to come out and fix your boiler. It would take them. It's just standard what they say. That's just standard, because they've got other people they have to deal with. But in the commercial world, they have separate groups to deal with that, which are dedicated to them. So
service level agreement.
Yeah, different SLAs. So they don't have an SLA with the domestic consumer.
They do, but by lower priority.
Yeah, much lower priority.
Yeah, it's not basically non-existent. They don't have to adhere to much.
Just going on the back of
companies have high-level SLAs.
Yes, they do. So they have to negotiate into a contract.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just going on the back of, say you've got Virgin, just for example, and you've got high data usage because you've got your live streaming 24/7, you've got videos going out all different times. Would they pick up on that data usage and go, hold on, that's a little bit more than someone watching Coronation Street?
Not in my house, because in the average home, you'd have more than 4, 5, 6 devices. People got smart TVs, smart meters, all of these.
Yeah.
And in my house, there's just me. But in a 3-bedroom house where it states that there's 3, so
but you don't know how many people live in this house.
Yeah, no, but they don't know how many people live in this house and what people are using what.
Unless so they wouldn't sharing again.
Sorry?
Unless Facebook have been sharing data again. Well, I'm just thinking if they can go on data usage in and out on an average per street, and there's one that's excessively high, would they question it?
No, to be fair, there's not much data usage in the 24-hour live stream.
Yeah.
In regards to internet usage, the hardest, because you're only streaming out to, there's no traffic between your stream. Does that make sense?
There would be if you had a server, though, wouldn't there?
Yeah, but I'm not. No, it still wouldn't, because what it would be is exactly like this. So it'd be Discord, but there'll be a screen. The thing that people see on YouTube. I wouldn't even have I wouldn't have a webcam set up either. It would be the YouTube live chat, a section for like news or cues and news.
Yep.
A section for like a bit of patriotism, and then a bit where it lights up so people on the live on YouTube can see who's speaking, and then the Discord chat. So there isn't much involved in the actual thing itself, and Discord doesn't use that much data. And I run my computer basically. Well, I have done in the past.
Right, we've taken this
20 per day, and using it for various things, and having like my phone, my laptops, both laptops when they worked, and then sometimes flicking on my computer to go onto like Sky News on my PlayStation, and nothing was ever said then, and it was probably using more internet then than what I would be if I was just doing a simple live 24-hour live stream. It'd be like watching YouTube. It'd be a bit like watching a YouTube video 24 hours a day, or a couple of YouTube videos at the same time.
Even if you're hosting it?
No.
Yeah, even if I'm hosting it, because it's just the connection to the internet. The thing with the speed would be more of your computer. So I'd have to make sure I've got high levels of RAM, like 8 gig of RAM.
Even hosting it on your own personalised site.
Using Discord, OBS, and YouTube, and having other things open as well, like that I'd need open. I'd have to have high levels of RAM. But yeah, the internet usage, the only thing I would need was a high internet speed. So like optical, 50 gig optical or something like that, which I do have.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be hosting. This wouldn't be hosting it on your own platform. This would be hosting it on other people's platforms.
Yeah, because YouTube's got their own servers, and so's Discord.
Yeah.
But the only way that the internet company would suss something is if I created my own social network website.
Yeah.
And I put it on a server.
That was it.
That's what I was.
Oh yeah, if I created my own social network server, they'd be like, boom.
Boom, yeah.
We know they'd know as soon as I'd press live. As soon as I went live with that website, they'd know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you'd have to go into a commercial contract with them.
I'd have to get commercial internet, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I could host like a website where it's just like there's a forum where people can just write. I could host that, and that wouldn't use much. But if I'm using it as like a big networking, I would have to have one commercial internet and a commercial license, and I'd probably have to get a commercial premises, because I wouldn't be able to hold servers within my house because of the fire risk.
Yeah.
Is it your house?
No, it's rented.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be very difficult. But yeah, that on that point, having my own hosted networking place website, they're well, I don't know if they didn't know. I'd want to know why. They're clearly not doing their job, because if throwing up a lot.
sorry. That's. I think it might have been a cross-purpose conversation there, because the question I originally asked was if you were hosting your own
network.
So, sorry. Now it's a bit of a mute point. Now we've cleared that up. Sorry about that.
No. It's good. It's good to clear up both sides, though. To be fair.
Yeah, we've gone to both extremes on this. You know, we've gone to being able to host our own 24-hour broadcast upon somebody else's platform, which we can do. And then there's creating our own platform to host our own social networking and video platform.
But I'm
The
pretty
other
sure
extreme,
we
which
could
we can't
find
do.
a way around it. I'm pretty sure we could find a way around it if there was separate people hosting separate parts of a site or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was connected.
You're talking a bit like Setia. You heard of Setia?
I've not, no.
No.
Ah, right. Here
Is
we
it?
go.
It's a rabbit hole.
Right.
Come on, Nigel. I'm getting comfortable. I've got a smoke. I've got a coffee.
That's
I'm all
fine.
right.
I've just had a fag. I've got my wine. I'm good. I'm in for the night, mate. I'm in for the night. The wife's away up in Bristol, so I'm good. Setia is, if you type it into a Google search, it's basically a search for extraterrestrial information or words to that effect. And what they did, and this was, I got this on my computer back in '96 in the infancy of the internet.
Is it SETIA?
Something like that, yeah.
Carry on.
It was, you know the telescopes, they push out information and wait for someone to come back, yeah? Wait for a rebound or a reply from the ether that is the infinite cosmos. God, I sound like Alexander Sangmore now.
He's got to get back on the show.
The listening stations, yeah? And they just listen for, I mean, I don't know if you know, but throughout the world on the radio telescopes, they just put out streams of, what's the words I'm looking for? Language. Various different languages. They just stream it out into the into the universe and just wait for something back. And it's the waiting for something back that they needed the processing power. And back in 96, 97, they didn't have the processing power. So what they did, they came up with a screen saver that used as much power as a screensaver, and you got packets of information to process on your computer. You downloaded a little bit of software, installed it, and when you were ready, your computer got this little package of information, and it just processed it. And it was looking for, if you like, blips coming back out of the ether, which is the universe, for anything that might be communication. And it processed this package data, did it, and then sent it off to Setia. And then you got your next one and did it. And they went on the premise that if we've got 1 million computers sitting idle, just processing this information for us, that saves a lot of computing power that they're doing. And I believe it's still going. You can still do it and set it up on your computer so that when you're idle, screensaver pops up and it's just processing this information.
Sounds a bit like crypto mining.
Yeah. So if you've got lots of individual people's computers, like you were saying, just putting out little bits of information or all coming together, tying together to create a bigger website, a bigger service, you're taking away the need for you to have a big computing power, because everybody's doing their own small little bit to it. It's that kind of theory that you mean.
Yeah, the devolution of power. Instead of having it centralized with a massive supercomputer, you have lots and lots and lots of little tiny computers doing the work of one. Yeah.
Is it Setia?
It's something like that, yeah.
Communications.
Search
And it's
for
like bird wings.
search for extraterrestrial information or something like that.
SETI.
SETI.
Hmm.
Something like that.
Well, I know the SETI program where it's, you know, using, like you said, using the radio telescopes. I know
Yeah.
that's SETI.
And it just uses your, when you go into, when your computer goes into screensaver mode, instead of it showing a pretty picture or just shutting the monitors down,
Mm-hmm.
it just puts up this little screen where it's processing this little package of data, uses no more energy than what a screensaver does. And when it's finished, it sends it off and you get an next one. Yeah, I signed up to it.
It's SETI.
Yeah, SETI.
SETI. SETI.
Yeah.
That'll do. Yeah,
Search
we'll
for
go with that then.
extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yeah, search for extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Wow.
And all you're doing is processing, if you like, information that's come back in that they can't deal with. They send it out to all different people for them to process it, and then it gets sent back in meaningful information to them.
What I'm seeing as a red flag on this one is
All right, go on then.
that's extraterrestrial information. Whereas
Yeah.
if it was terrestrial information, the Data Protection Act would come into place and you wouldn't be able to handle other people's data. That's what I'm seeing on that one.
Oh, all right. Yeah, but if they're allowing you to process their data,
I'm just thinking that they've probably regulated against this for terrestrial information, for normal people information.
well, possibly. But
Well,
whatever you've got you process, you haven't got a clue what you're processing. You just see like a bar graph going up and down, what you used to, and then it used to disappear and you used to start on another one, and that was it. It was
A lot with processing data nowadays. A lot with the supercomputers that they have, they can, like, say if they was processing our data now, or if it was visual, and they were getting the feed, see it breaking down in code, and it will come and it will appear in real time. Exactly. So it automatically breaks the code so they can see exactly what you're doing. So they can either look at the code or look at what you're actually doing through the code. It's they have some crazy technology out there. Like
that sounds a bit of a matrix kind of way of looking at it.
It is exactly that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, say if you was looking at like the Matrix, right, and all them numbers, digits, and everything were falling down, right? They can flip from that sort of thing to whatever that code is. It will appear. So if it was like a stream of pictures, them stream of pictures will start falling down. Or if it was a CCTV, that CCTV will show up. So whatever data is being processed, they can look at real time. And they can transfer so much data so quick as well. And they don't even need the internet to do it anymore.
Was it you that was mentioning about laser?
Yeah.
Laser
transferring data.
Yeah. Well, I've heard
through
when I worked
Google Boeing drones.
When I worked at BT, they were working on Light-Fi, where they'd use light or like a normal everyday street light to transfer data as well, instead of it having to be an intense beam.
It's a frequency. That's all it needs. It's a frequency. It doesn't need anything else. And depending on how fast or slow or what that's going to be transferring, because they could set up each individual. So if they had street lights that were both lights and Wi-Fi things, that could be for like just for local camera or something like that. It could be something low tech, not something like a phone that's being used all the time or anything like that. It can pick up signals, but then
if
blocks that they want to put on side of every single building, chop down trees to put in for 5G, and they're mainly for one, people using phones, but two, it's for the self-driving cars and the automating whatever the internet is next going to control. But then I see it as it opens up to, well, that means your car's going to be connected to it. That means someone can hijack it. That means that someone can take over your car.
Yep, hack it.
Anyone, just any hacker sitting in their house could go, oh, I'm just going to pick on that car today and I'm going to just veer it off that bridge that is going over just now. Boom. And that's just a normal everyday. That doesn't even have to be any government or rogue agent or anything like that. That could be a general person that could do that.
And if you could do that to an empty, I'm talking an empty autonomous car, if you could hijack it and crash it into a tree or send it off a bridge, bearing in mind it's empty, I would do it just to stop that technology.
Just to
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like, just to highlight it's
an empty vehicle. Like, could you imagine like vans that they have outside like Buckingham Palace or at the back of Buckingham Palace or Parliament or anything like that, like a police vehicle, and drive it into it while it's empty so they can see it, the police, and they'll go, we ain't lying, there was no one in there.
And the media would have to cover it.
Crash it into them and stuff like that and say, this is the damage that your thinking does. Stop it.
Yeah. Another thing, do you guys drive?
Not really.
Have you got cars?
Yeah.
I haven't at the moment, no.
Right.
Oh. Nope. Ah, bugger. Oh, something's gone wrong. Sorry, guys, something's gone wrong. Oh, technical issues. I think we might have been getting on to a pretty important point there. Try restarting the app. Well, it's still connected to the internet. But Discord's gone down. I'm not connecting via Discord. Well, I'm going to still keep the show live, see if we can get this back on board. But sorry to all the viewers for watching. Technical issues. Sorry about this. Give us a few minutes and we'll get it all back up and ready. Yeah. So, well, I'll do a little bit on the 5G network because there's a very, very dark side to the 5G network as well. Because the 5G network is 100, well, possibly 100 or more times more powerful than what we have at the moment. Now, do we really need it to be 100 times more powerful? Or is it being 100 times more powerful very dangerous to life? Right, let's connect again. Sorry guys.
Driving that.
Sorry guys, we had a technical issue then. I got kicked off the server and didn't get connection back for a while then. Many apologies.
Okay.
So
are we good now?
Yeah, we're all good now, but if you can reverse for the back 5 minutes or so. Play.
We're talking about autonomous vehicles and how dangerous they are, and how. So, Rez touched on the emotional side of these autonomous vehicles that they would have none, because they don't. They'll be there for self-preservation, as Rev said.
Yeah. So if a dog ran out into the road,
if,
it would squish the dog.
Well, not even that. I thought of if there's someone on the side of the road who's had an accident and needs some help, right? Well, the lorry can't pull over, and it could pull over, but it couldn't help them. In no way could it help them.
I've got a good analogy here, Jack.
If there was a man or a woman in that lorry or vehicle, they could pull over, offer a hand, let them in, comfort. There you go.
Yeah.
I've got a good analogy here, guys.
Yeah, go.
I used to work on the railway many, many years ago, and we always used to have this thing that you've got a train going down the track, out of control, and you've got a guy who's controlling a set of points. Yeah? So the train can go left or right. He decides left or right. If he goes to the left, he'll kill 10 people outright who are working on the track. But the train will be saved with 50 people on it. If he sends it to the right, he won't kill 7 people outright. And there's a good 50-50 chance the 50 people on the train will survive. What does he do? Does he kill the 7 people so the ones on the train survive? Or does he do it the other way and it's 50-50? It's that kind of analogy, and only a human in a split second can make that decision.
Yeah.
What would be your decision on that? Would you go left or right?
What would my decision be on that? I would go down the route of 50-50. 7 people live and killed outright, so I'm not killing them. I aren't sending them to their death. I'm playing on the odds that the people on the train have got a 50-50 chance of survival.
As they do anyway. As they do when they walk out their door, wake up in the morning, they have a 50-50 chance of living.
Yeah,
so,
a computer can never make that choice.
No, exactly.
Yeah. It would make the choice which one's going to save more money.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It would make the choice of what it was programmed to do. To do.
Is it?
And that's the problem. And like I said, the other problem becomes is that people can hack them, as they can hack. It's a lot harder now, but with the implementation of fully autonomous vehicles and 5G, well, there's connection everywhere, so they'll be able to easily hack.
Yeah, someone will find a way to hack them.
Yeah,
it'll be. I think honestly, it wouldn't be that difficult if you're good at coding and hacking. Then you're going to be able to get into them. And if you can locate a car and do that, then that's where problems come in. And this is why we need an internet bill of rights to stop this. To stop autonomous vehicles, full stop. And
a bill of rights for the internet.
But I'm on about having our freedom of speech, having what the Americans say with the First Amendment, not being our data and that being mined and sold on, and all of those things to protect us, right? But to also keep it a fair playing field for everyone as the internet. So the Internet of Things is controlled, because at the moment it's controlled and controlled by a few and abused by a few, and the mass aren't allowed to do anything. So we need to make it a bit fairer. And if you are part of the mass and you've got an opposite opinion to those few, then you get silenced. Sorry.
I would like to add a security clause into that Bill of Rights.
What's that?
Just like in, the Magna Carta Bill of Rights, the Magna Carta Security Clause, Article 61. I know you're not. I know I'm a dragon. I know you guys aren't, but you kind of
We understand.
You understand it,
I
yeah?
know Article 61 where we can rebel and take, well...
Basically, it's to keep, it's our opportunity to keep either the monarchy or the government in check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, my security clause for the internet is hackers are allowed to hack and expose flaws and wrongdoing as long as they do not do any wrongdoing themselves.
Yeah, that would probably be in one of the first annexes, in all honesty.
The protection of whistleblowers.
I would use them for protection of whistleblowers. I'd employ them for, I would say, if you're a hacker, I don't want you to start hacking us. I want you to work with us. Come and find out any flaws that we may have in any of our systems. Come and work for us. Come and help write these systems. We don't want to imprison you. We want to employ you. We want to make you the people of tomorrow. You create what we have, what the people of yesterday didn't.
Yeah.
And they need to be what's that? Embraced. Hackers need to be embraced, because all they are people who aren't born in a middle class or upper class sphere, that are just super geniuses of computers, that don't get a chance in life. If they was able to go to university, get a decent job, stuff like that, then they probably would. And I know there's some nefarious hackers, and you just have to deal with them, how you deal with like murderers and stuff like that. But a lot of hackers, they just go into like the NHS. They went into that just to prove that they could.
Yeah. Well,
they went into the national security just because they knew they could, and the FBI just because they knew they could.
Well, that's the thing.
They say, you've got flaws, sort them out.
Yeah,
if you don't want people in it, don't let them in.
That's the thing. The only way to beat a hacker is to employ a hacker.
Yeah.
Actually, I was thinking the other way around. Because of...
We could also have them as like a public body to protect us against the government.
Thank you. That's what I was getting at.
like a Julian Assange.
Yeah.
Julian Assange, he's a man on the pedestal for me. He's a great man. He's done great things, and he's being caged up like an animal, and it's wrong. He needs to be set free. He needs to be able to do what he wants when he wants. Continue with WikiLeaks. Continue exposing the unbiasedness that he has shown throughout his time. Yes, definitely, you do need like a public body of hackers to scrutinize our services, but in a right way. So like there'd be, I don't know, but I honestly think that our military, right, after we've drained the swamp, our military should take control of like GCHQ, MI6, MI5, any secret intelligence services, and anything like that. Even, do you know what? I'd even go as far as let the military take control of the police, right?
No.
The police has to... it's a tricky one, is that? Because, yes, the police does have to remain independent. Completely and utterly independent and completely and utterly unbiased. Whereas...
scrutinise. So the MOD would scrutinise the police. Like the police would be a separate body, right, for the public body, but overseeing like the scrutiny of the because the intelligence services will be embedded with the military, so they would oversee what goes on throughout the police force, and if there's any wrongdoings, they'd find out and they would hold them to a military trial instead of a civil trial. Glenn, does that make sense?
Glenn?
Yeah?
It's all we have as a country, as our constitution and our everything we've built up over 1,000 years, it's already there. We've got, for the police, their oath of office. Yeah? which is to uphold the Queen's law, which is common law, according to the Queen's coronation oath. The Queen's coronation oath,
Isn't it the Crown's law, not the Queen's? It's the Crown.
the Queen's crown, yeah, is to uphold common law
Yeah.
for the people, not government, not
No, yeah.
corporate or anything like that. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
but
that
then
is,
the military do the same.
Well,
That's
that
what
is
I'm saying.
what I want to say,
that is what
what I want to say is that we should use hackers and hackers' capabilities as a public body to scrutinize public servants. Because if you're in
Yes,
service
you
to
said
the
that, yeah,
public
definitely.
and you're not doing a service to the public, that should be
That's what, yeah.
held
We
accountable
said
for.
that, yeah,
Mm.
definitely. That should definitely happen. But what I was saying is like the police take an oath to the Queen and
Yeah,
or
the
to the
Crown.
Crown and to the
Yeah.
people, and so do the military. At the moment, it's our government and their committees that overlook the police and scrutinise the police, right? And what I'm saying is, instead of using the government and committees to do that, let the military do that. Let the military take control of that, because then it'll be a fair investigation, because that's what the military have to do. They have no rights, so they have to tell the truth. They have access to every bit of information. And I would go as far as let the military, with the intelligence service, take and overlook the government and make the government be held accountable. So they look into the government and see if they're doing any wrongdoing and whatnot. I think we need more strength in our military instead of putting it into government.
I can see where you're coming from, Glenn. I can understand it 100%. However, the police is for civil defence. The military is for country defence. They are two separate bodies for a particular reason, so that one is not influenced by the other. And the only way that the military can come onto our streets is if martial law is declared.
I'm not on about the army being connected to the police, like training them or being any commissioners or anything like that, unless if they leave the military. What I'm saying is, if an investigation is required into the police, at the moment, we have our government that do it.
Good
Right.
point. Good point.
Or committees within the government or parliament.
You've got IPCC.
Yeah, but they're a committee of the government. The government set them up. They're all a government body, right?
Who makes up IPCC?
Sorry?
Who makes up IPCC?
Go
The
ahead.
government bodies, civil servants.
It's policemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they're all one in the same. But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, to stop that conflict of interest, right? Let the military investigate and hold trials for the people that need investigating and having trials. Because they have a law, which is martial law, and you don't have any rights, then you cannot lie.
Hello?
If you lie, you'll be found out and you'll be held in a military prison, right? So that's what I'm saying. So police officers are held in military prisons. Civil servants are held in military prisons and military trials, not in civil servant trials held by themselves.
Yeah, because they've become
or their vested interest. So if the military do it, they've got a wider range that they can use. They don't have any restriction in laws as such. So they can do a more open investigation, and people can be held accountable. And within the military, you'll have the branches like you do, because the military consists of the Navy, the infantry, and the Marines, and the airborne. So it's an umbrella of lot, the military. But if you put in the secret intelligence services into that, into the military services, intelligence. So there's no conflict of interest. So it's just military intelligence only, no secret intelligence from a different governing body, or which are made up of 4 or 5 different factions, and then a GCHQ listening into all of your data and collecting data and whatnot, have all of that under the military umbrella, so they hold a stronger oath to whatever it is, but then the police held accountable by the military instead of a governing body of their own, or of a political party. I think that would make it a lot fairer and a lot more open, and I think you'd see a lot less bent coppers.
Yeah. Now, we touched upon the subject of martial law. We've had William Davis in the comments mention and say that the UK is already under martial law.
There's 3 stages. We're under the first stage of martial law, and that's only within certain regions, and that allows certain officers to carry arms, which you see.
Yep.
And that's the first stage. The second stage would be implementation of armed forces on the streets.
Yep.
And then final stage is lockdown, curfew, everything, full works.
Yep. And we're not far away from that.
Okay. Guys,
yep.
Martial law, does it say anywhere in our constitution that we can have martial law?
No, it doesn't. It's completely unlawful and against our constitution and our rights as human beings.
Right. The only way to raise an army was by basically a bill of the monarchy to fight an invading force.
Yep.
So Ministry of Defence is what? Ministry of Attack?
Well, yeah, that's what it's become. Most definitely. And we've heard today of,
should be renamed that.
We've heard today that Theresa May is quite happy to use her royal prerogative to send our men to war in Syria, which is a dictator. It's getting more and more like a dictatorship. It's short. Well, it is, but it's showing its teeth a lot more now.
I posted earlier on a comment somewhere. They are our elected representatives. But using the word representative, using it to the letter of the bloody law.
When you talk about one of them, you have to talk plural anyway.
No, they are not representing us. They are not representing our thoughts, our feelings.
No. So we vote them to represent their handlers or their donors. But we've figured that out. A lot of other people haven't. We've come to realise that they don't work for us. They don't represent us. They represent their donors, their invested interests, and they're only allowed to do and say whatever their handlers are. So that's Whitehall. So who controls our parliament? That'd be Whitehall. They shouldn't have handlers. You should just have people that are there ready to be on your back if you need it. Like they should be, like the military and stuff like that.
The general public should be their handlers and their scrutineers and tell them what they want them to say.
If I want to walk down the street, I don't want armed guards around me to walk me down the street. I want to be able to walk down the street, shake the hands of the fellow people, have a good laugh. But we don't live in that society. And I know that, like, say if I was Prime Minister, I know I'd need some sort of protection at some point because I'm a world leader as such.
And your views and opinions might not be shared by everyone.
Yeah, and if I go to a foreign country to do some diplomacy or something, then I would need protecting because I'd be going into foreign land and there's a higher chance than being in your home nation. But I'd want to be as open to my people as possible. But
Glenn, question. You go on holiday to a foreign country, wherever it is, doesn't matter. Do you respect, abide, and follow their traditions, their laws, and their customs?
Yes, every time. When I go to Thailand, and I love the culture of Thailand, and I think it's the reason why I respect it so. Or the other way around, I respect them so much, so I've come to love their culture and understand it the more I've been there and the longer I've stayed. And that's the same as Australia. I know it's still Western, but I fit in with their culture. Spain. When I was in Spain, I literally went into their sort of culture and how they do things. But Nigel, you've got to remember, we're open-minded and probably have been all of our life, just not realised what's been there. Maybe some sooner than others, and some a lot more than others. But others can't. They're so narrow-minded, and they can't seem to switch off from this. I don't know, the world that they're stuck in, that we can't understand why they're still stuck in it when everything's in their face.
And Glenn, it's like you won't go to Spain and complain about bullfighting and start making a big political movement against bullfighting in Spain.
No, and I wouldn't go to Spain and expect them to open 20 million fish and chip shops and I don't know, loads of dingy bars so we can all get pissed and whatnot and have fights. So no, I would respect whatever culture there is and I would assimilate to their culture because I've gone into their land, not them coming into mine. I have no right to go to another person's country and dictate to them what they should and shouldn't do. I can advise them on certain things that I may see things differently that could be advantage. Whether they take it on board, I'm not going to go and start killing people or doing some political ideology to make people do it. It's barbaric. You've gone to their land for a reason because their culture and the way they live.
Thailand.
Why would you want to change?
Do they eat dogs in Thailand?
Yeah, they do in certain areas. Not so much anymore. But yeah, they do. But then all I'm going to say is, and I'm not saying this just because I'm vegan. I see it as just because it makes sense. People will eat cows. People eat lambs. People eat calves. People eat fish. Various sorts of animals and mammals people eat. But people switch off when you say eat a cat or a dog or eat a horse or something like that. There's no difference. And the same with the milk. What's the difference in drinking cow's milk and goat's milk to drinking dog's milk and to drinking I don't know, horse's milk and stuff like that? There's no difference. It comes from an animal. It's not actually meant to be, the milk isn't meant to be consumed by humans. It's meant to be consumed by the animals. And the meat is no different. You just eat it. People eat kangaroo. People eat snake. It's all meat.
Can I come in and play devil's advocate here?
Yeah, go for it.
Right. In England, the British Isles, we eat pork, lamb, beef, chicken, turkey. What else? What else do we eat?
Yeah, I've eaten reindeer, kangaroo, crocodile, alligator.
Yeah. If you can get it from the butchers, that's right.
You can also get
Wait.
Make it human. You can get human
Yeah,
kebabs.
Dark rabbit hole
You
there.
can get duck on kebabs. You can get horse on kebab.
Mm.
You go to France, yeah, and
Frogs
you can
and
get
snail.
horse. If you go to France, you get horse meat without a bat of an eyelid.
Mm.
Yeah. So you go to Thailand, and they serve dog. They eat dog. It's their natural tradition. I wouldn't think twice of going over there. If they're going to serve it, I would try it. Yeah. Back in England, I wouldn't even consider it because it's not what we do.
No, yeah, and that's it. Yeah. Two points on eating dog. One, it tastes like pork. And two, if it's not clean, you'll end up with a parasite which happened to me. I didn't know I was eating dog, I'm going to be honest. I thought I was eating pork meatballs. And I was eating them, and I ate them. A couple of days later, I was really ill. And the place I travelled on from where I was. And I got to this next guest house that I was staying in, and I was speaking to the owner, Thai bloke. He's a Rastafarian, and he goes, you ate meatballs. He goes, that's dog.
Oh.
He goes, in that area, it's dog. That's dog meatballs. He goes, and they'll be dirty. He goes, you've got bad parasite in your stomach. He goes, he wrote this thing down on a piece of paper. He goes, go to the chemist over the road, and told me what it looked like, and told me what it was called. Went over, got this, whatever it was, took a couple of tablets, and he gave me a bottle of this Samsung whiskey. It's not even whiskey, it's rum. Rum. And I drank that the whole night, and I was smoking with him. We was having a laugh and everything like that. And literally the next day, boy, my gut's just completely emptied. And I see it. I see the parasite.
No. Yeah. But I'd say it's almost...
But people moan about it, and it's like, you can't moan about what they do, because the amount of dogs they have is about the same amount of kangaroos Australia has.
Each to their own in their own
sense.
Each to their own in their own country. If that's part of their country heritage and tradition, good. Let them do it. We're not going to try and change it.
They just do it because it's meat. It's easy meat. I'm not going to lie. They used to be a third world country. So if there's a lot of dogs, what are you going to eat? You're going to eat dog, because that's what you got most of. And they easy mate. They birth quick. They grow quick. You can fatten them up easy enough.
Well, all I'm saying is, as in Rome, as the Romans do. If someone was doing it in this country, it's not culturally acceptable.
And it goes against our laws anyway. But
and
it's not culturally accepted.
So we don't do it. Yeah, can we?
Why that man was arrested who skinned dog and put the flesh on kebab as a kebab, sold it as kebab.
Well, there's horror stories of cat curries. There's horror stories of cat curries around here. You know, that was like back
as a country
in Bangladesh, Pakistan, India. They have a lot of cats.
But I'm talking about in this country. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. So what I'm saying is they're bringing their culture here when they shouldn't be, because their culture's back there. If they want to do that, let them go back home. That's what I say. Yeah,
we've come a long way as a country in animal welfare.
Yes.
Not only that, we because we aren't overridden, we aren't a a full nature country. Like, we don't have loads of wildlife, as in like animals. We don't have like wild elephants or anything like that. We're a very small nation. We're quite cold as a climate. But in larger nations, I don't know. They don't, because it's so scarce of food, and they have more laws on their bigger animals than the smaller animals. Their welfare for animals is different. Like, their priorities, our priorities are like our pets and stuff like that. We have come a long way. Like, we've got a lot of, we have a lot more respect for animals, don't we? As in the West, as a majority. I'm not saying all people have that, because is it Michael Glover thinks they're not sentient beings? Bloody fool! See the dog, my mate's dogs. Well, you think they're as human?
Yeah.
Do you think, how sentient do you think dogs are, or animals in general?
I believe dogs have enough intellect to be able to love, to be able to feel empathy, to be able to see things through the other person's eyes. So yeah, I think they've got not cognitive self-awareness. They can't ask themselves. Well, no, maybe they can ask them the question why.
We don't understand because we don't talk dog.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good argument there. With sentient being, dog, cat, and I think the answer is we believe yes they are, because we don't eat them. Whereas pig, sheep, cow, chicken, no, because we do eat them.
But pigs are more intelligent than dogs.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it out there, right? Me personally, I think, for one, dogs have possibly more intelligence and more consciousness and another sense that we can't perceive. I also think that all animals are completely sentient, and I can prove it. My friend has horses. My friend's got animals. I've been to farms, zoos, and I don't know if it's just me, but every single animal that I go near literally cuddles me.
Yeah.
I went near a wallaby in Australia, and I was a wild one, and I was able to stroke it, feed it. It loved me. Anyone else went near it, it scarpered. There was a kangaroo that I'd met, and I was staying on a ranch, and it was literally next to me continuously. It wouldn't leave my side. I can prove that all animals are definite sentiments, and I believe that they're probably more sentient and more conscious on a spiritual level than we can perceive. I think animals need more credit than what we give them. But I also know that if we just let animals wild free and didn't control it, then there would be no humans, because there'd be no food, and we'd be fighting for land, and it just turn into a turmoil. But I also think there needs to be more preservation of certain species, protections.
Yeah, most definitely. And we see with a lot of the things that the government are doing, it's killing off wildlife.
By the way,
it's killing off wildlife at an alarming rate. and it's only going
The
to get
worry
worse.
is like habitats for certain species, like that are required for our ecosystem, and that's the sort of thing that people don't understand when you talk about like the killing of animals and protecting species. People don't think of like the smaller aspect of species that are so committed and a necessity to our ecosystem as a life itself.
Yeah, people are focusing more on polar bears instead of insects, because insects are a base of the food of the food web. And if
It's
we
not
lose,
even that. They're like, if you take out a forest, taking out that forest, you're taking out probably about 6 to 10,000 species in a little small area, and that's from insects to fully grown mammals of sorts.
Yeah,
which for life to survive is it can't. And I understand like when people say, "Oh, we need to cull the population because the planet can't survive." Can't survive because of what we're doing. It's not because of the amount of people. It's because what the amount of people are doing. They're all doing the same. And it's an alarming rate that it is becoming a problem, but we can rectify it in regards to we can all change our ways, and we can start being more conscious, less wasteful, more respect, more helpful.
Yeah, most definitely.
And taking responsibility, just taking some self-responsibility in what you do. But we also need help from our governments and from these corporations, like who have got plastics and who are, I don't know, processing like palm oils and stuff like that the way they do, and using, I don't know, non-recyclable cups for coffee in coffee houses and stuff like that. When they've got a perfectly good alternative, but they choose not to use it. It's silly. And using the amount of trees we do for like paper and toilet roll, and we can just plant tons and tons of hemp fields, and that would suffice on many levels. For me, it just doesn't make sense. And when I talk to people, they're like, "Really, Glenn? You just want to bring in cannabis?" I was like, "No, I just want to bring in hemp. It's not even just cannabis itself. But I want to use the whole plant for what it's meant to be used for."
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We can save cutting down trees and let forestry start growing again, because we can just start using hemp for paper and for clothing and for plastics and for this and for that.
Alternative.
Yeah, and it's biodegradable. It's perfectly natural, and it grows quick.
Yep.
It's not like a tree where you have to wait like 50 years to 100 years or longer, unless if you've got an artificial seed.
In its growth cycle, it probably absorbs more carbon dioxide in its short growth cycle.
Yeah, probably about 10 times the amount
than what a tree does.
Yep, it uses less water.
Right there.
Uses less water, less. Yeah,
it puts more nutrients back into the ground. Produces nitrates. It's a perfectly great. You wouldn't even need like pesticides because it just looks after itself. It's an amazing plant. And do you know what? They're very beautiful and very good to look after. When you start pruning and look after them properly, it becomes an art and a technique. And do you know what? It needs to be done.
It will be It will be a massive part of our brave new world.
Do you know what? It is an earth-saving plant for many different aspects, as well as it attracts a lot of bees because of the pollen.
Yeah.
On the cannabis. So the bee growth will just go immense. Could you imagine if you had like 10 acres of cannabis fields.
Well, a lot of the
How many colonies of bees would be in just in one field because there'd be so much pollen. They'd be mating more and more just so they can collect more pollen. It'd be beautiful. And could you imagine the taste of that honey?
yeah.
It'd be gorgeous.
Can I add something here, guys?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to add one thing, and it's not to put the kibosh on anything else. If you've got a tree growing in your field and it's absorbing carbon dioxide, etc., etc., if you cut that tree down and burn it, and this is one for the green people who just ain't got a clue what I'm talking about. If you cut a tree down and burn the wood from that tree, you are only putting back into the environment the same amount of carbon dioxide that tree absorbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You burn a tree, it is carbon neutral.
Yeah.
Can we agree on that one, guys?
Yeah.
And do you know what? Do you know what really baffles me? Is when the Earth was born, there was an immense amount of CO2, right? Because CO2 is required for life to grow, right?
Yep.
Because it's the building blocks of life.
That's why plants came first.
It's how everything... And life was so much bigger then. And I see more of a problem of burning, like, nuclear fuels and testing missiles and launching rockets and that aspect of things.
Dumping aluminium in the atmosphere.
Yeah, no, I'm on about like what we do on the ground.
Yeah, keep on, yeah. I'm just poking.
That's completely true. Geoengineering is completely a massive problem.
Farcical, yeah.
But then also you've got the mass production of like beef that produces an alarming rate of methane, which is a higher levels in our atmosphere and more alarming in our atmosphere than what CO2 is, in all honesty, in my eyes, because methane, well, load at one point, if it builds up too much, right? And producing this amount of beef that we do, I can see why they're saying that we need to slow it, but what we really need to do, slow down the production of meat, slow down the production of like these nuclear fuels and rockets and wasteful things that aren't going to benefit us, right, in reality, right? If they want to go and build another life on Mars, let them go and do it, because I would happily let them go, because I know that I could make this Earth better than what they could.
Yeah. With regard to beef, methane, and all animals that are bred for human consumption, with regard to methane releasing, there's been a study, a good study, and I fully back it. Nowadays, there are farms that are corporate backed, that are mass producers of beef, pork, lamb, chicken, etc. And there's been a study that it can be done more sustainably if it's done on a local organic level, as in back to small holdings. So every village town has got a small holding around it. They produce the beef, the pork, the lamb, the chickens, etc., that feed that town. And it's got a double effect. You do not have the transportation cost, the transportation emissions of taking it from Devon,
to Scotland.
It's taken from Devon up to Durham to be produced into chicken breasts and diced chicken
Dippers.
just to be shipped back down to Devon again. That is what needs stopping.
Yes.
I'm so glad you
Agreed.
said that.
Agreed.
Because I said this, right, to a couple of friends a long time ago, right? And we was like, no, you can't do that because there wouldn't be enough meat to go around, rah, rah, rah. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, hang on, because if we'd done this, one, we wouldn't have all these illegal aliens. We wouldn't have these mass immigration, right? We wouldn't have this mass consumption of meat and waste of meat because guess what? You can't, right? And it would be more beneficial because guess what? Them local people around the area can also go and help to like look after them animals and or pet them animals or whatnot. They could open up as many things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could become like a local attraction as well.
It keeps the local community together. It keeps a lot of the money in the local community. It's part of the brave new world we want to put together.
Mm-hmm.
Because
and I don't see no problem in that. And like, if you need like because I live in quite a big shire, as quite many of us do. And there's quite a few towns, and I've got quite a lot of villages. I've got a lot more villages and towns in my shire than anything. But in between those, it's just farmland.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of it is wasted. A lot of the fields and that is wasted, and there's very little livestock about as such.
They've decimated that a lot.
And I think if there was a lot more, which would be better, and it's good for agriculture as well because you have council livestock on one part of the land, right? And then the next year you can turn it over and it'll be nice and nutrient.
Yeah, your livestock have produced your fertilizer.
Yeah, and then you turn it over. The next year they go on to the next field, and then you can start rotating, and we don't need Monsanto's.
No,
we can start getting back to a proper agricultural farming.
Are you talking about how it used to be done?
Yeah.
As in John Seymour, the fat of
proper
the land?
Agricultural farming, yes. The truest form of.
What every fourth year, you leave one patch of your land fallow to recover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever, any of you guys ever read any John Seymour books?
No, not done that. All I know is that the EU have come in with their regulations and have stopped us doing farming and agriculture in that proven brilliant way.
Do you know you can't even do it at your local allotment anymore? Well, we can't. We have restrictions on our allotments, and a number of our allotments have been wiped out, and houses are on them now.
Nigel, did you have a point to make about the books?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. John Seymour, he was the original, if you like, smallholder, lived off the land, and these books are brilliant. There's one called Fat of the Land, and there's another one that's very similar. I can't remember it. I do apologise. And basically, he has got, and it's going back to what I said just previously about local agriculture. Instead of big company farms and stuff, the local agriculture feeding the local towns and the local cities, instead of shipping it hundreds of miles, which is just adding cost and just pollution. It just makes no sense whatsoever to ship something 50 miles to get it processed, to ship it another 50 miles back again to be sold in the same place where it was bloody born or grown. Makes no sense whatsoever. And I'm quite strong about this. I do apologise, guys, if you get a bit passionate. Back in the 80s, this is how stupid the EU and British law was. Back in the 80s, if you was an egg-producing farm and you had chickens, to get away from some tax, it was a tax incentive. If you sent your eggs to Europe,
I know this one,
and back again into UK, you forego the need to pay a tax on them. so you could sell them cheaper. Yeah.
Transportation
How
for
stupid is that?
transportation's sake.
How
Just-
stupid.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And the way they'd have to do it, it would take a little while for it to be implemented.
And a bit, education as well.
And a lot of it, a bit, man, we've got a lot of educating to do at the moment, let alone when we turn this world around. Oh, geez, can you imagine them people?
Yeah.
After they've found out their whole world's falling apart, they're going to find out that their whole new world's going to be amazing. But guess what?
You've got to work for it.
A bit more effort.
Yeah, you've got to fucking work for it.
More effort into what you're doing.
Yeah.
You've got to take a lot more self-responsibility, and things are going to change for the better. But they're going to be drastic changes. But they're going to be implemented over a period of time. And do you know what I like about this? Is I've thought about all of these ideas for such a long time and not been able to share them or elaborate on them or change them because I've known that
have them questioned.
I can only think of certain things at certain times. But coming into it, like when Nigel brought that up, local farming, do you know, it brought a smile on my face. And I'm a vegan, but I still believe we need to do that because I also think it will help people with their diets in many aspects, it being more healthier, for one, than meat. Won't have all these,
and
I don't know what chemicals they are, but also people would turn to more like healthy eating lifestyle.
Yeah, and Glenn, being a vegan,
they wouldn't have all that mass production stuff.
And Glenn, being a vegan and a good person, you don't want to push your views onto everybody else. You want to help educate them in the way that's wrong, and hopefully they'll be able to make the choice themselves. But you're not going to say, "Oh, we got to ban meat now because it's nasty." And shit
No,
like that.
I'm not against people eating meat.
I know.
But what I would say is if people was more aware of the benefits of not eating so much meat, and what we do with meat, how it's produced, but it's not just meat. I have a problem with the production of. I have the problem with production of all or majority of foods, 99% of foods.
Animal products.
Not just animal products.
Oh yeah, because farming's pretty shit as well. Yeah.
Just everything, every bit of food that is produced, I have I oppose the way they manufacture things with all the chemicals and all of that and wasting products and everything like that. I have a problem with all of that. So I can't direct it at just me because that's not my sole problem. My actual sole problem is the whole system it's under. And I don't want, if I could help like people have a health benefit by reducing the amount of meat they eat and how often they eat it and the health benefits and quite creativity that you can have from eating vegan foods with like beans and stuff like that. I've actually quite found like a lot of the burgers, burritos and stuff like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, but
and very cheap.
It's one of those that it's a proven fact that if you eat more pulses, if you eat more vegetables, you will live longer. You will have a happier life. Your
body feels happy.
Yes, you'll have more energy.
The right nutrients. And and you're not, and it's not fatty because it's natural. You don't put on like pocketed fat weights and like sugar and stuff like that. And obviously, if you eat too much sugary fruits, it's not going to be good for you. You could still got to have a balanced diet when you're vegan.
Yeah.
But it's healthier. But I'm not against people eating meat. I know the whole world's not going to stop eating meat. It's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous notion to even pursue. It's I don't understand.
It's an impossible pipe dream.
People's points of views as a vegan opposing people eating meat, but all I would say is just don't educate yourself on the way meat is produced. But then you'd understand the reason why you have so many vegans. But not only that, you'd also find that you might find a new love in life.
Well, that's it. And
or a new passion.
Once we can change the current system,
mentality.
Once we can change the current system and the education system and the cultural system that's being forced upon us, then these topics of debate that we talk about will become more common and more easy to talk about, and a lot easier for people to actually change their thinking and not be so polarized on, oh, I have to wake up and have a bacon sandwich every day and then go to work and have a full English breakfast later on, or you know, I have to have meat with every meal because that's
what's prescribed.
Yeah, that's the normality.
The narrative.
Yeah.
You've got to have meat, potato, and 2 veg.
Yeah.
And then bodybuilders have to eat like 30 chicken breasts a day and all the protein they can get. Well, no, you don't. You just have to train eat the right foods. Because when I was training, I was possibly eating more carbs and vegetables, but natural carbs and natural vegetables, than I was eating meat. And I was getting bigger.
Well, that's it. People seem to put this notion together that if I eat meat's muscle, so I'm eating muscle, so it's going to make me more muscly.
when actually it's just protein.
Yeah.
Yes. And the only thing that makes your muscles bigger is when they break.
Yep.
And they rebuild.
Mm.
And then you repeat that process numerous of times because you get more fibers and the fibers get closer together.
Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
Quick one.
Go up.
Just to keep it interactive,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to people in the comments? What anyone saying anything interesting?
Yeah, we've got William Davies here. I've brought back to his comment here, but we've mentioned fertilizers, and these GM companies don't need them, as it comes on board. The company that makes the fertilizer is up in arms.
Right.
So
just going back to. Sorry, can I? Are you all right? You finished?
Yeah. Well, I'm not very good at reading comments. I don't have my glasses on, so I have to get right close and squint at them. Like, yeah. Sorry about that, people. I'm going to get some more contact lenses so I can see the comments more.
You've got to keep your viewers interactive.
Yeah.
All I've seen is with John Seymour, Fat of the Land and whatever, using he advocates that your small holding, nothing leaves the small holding, yeah, and wherever possible, you bring nothing in. In other words, you try to be self-sufficient as possible.
Yeah.
Now, with your 5-year plan, you leave one field fallow, to recover, and you put on it, and what his wording, John Seymour quote, you put on it shit.
Yeah.
You put on animal shit, you put on human shit, you dig it in, you turn it over, and you leave it. That is what fertilizes the land.
Yep.
Now, with your viewers' comment regarding artificial fertilizers.
Yeah, and he's saying that the fertilizer companies are going to get up in arms because we're taking away their monies.
Because you don't need to leave a land fallow nowadays, because you can use artificial fertilizers to fertilize the land. Now, that's all well and good for the fertilization of the land. Fair play. But using artificialness, which uses energy, which uses, also, leaving the land fallow for a year also helps get rid of parasites and bad bugs and everything like that.
And not only that, it will help other life to come in and like insects and bees and stuff like that without being disturbed.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, which eats all your bad bugs that eats all your bloody veggies.
Mhm.
So
Well-
leaving it fallow, not just because of fertilization but you're leaving it fallow.
You need lack of pesticides as well
Lack
for
of
your other
pests,
lands.
get rid of pests and stuff,
Mm.
because you're encouraging all the good bugs into that nice green meadowy grass to get rid of all your bad bugs, and then the year after you turn it all over, dig it back in again, and it's good to go again.
Yeah, and it keeps
Without-
local plant species. It keeps the local plant
Without-
species going as well. Instead of it just being fields and fields and fields and fields of one particular crop, there's a
Yeah.
field of crop and a field of wildlife and
Yeah.
native species.
Yes. So going back to that study that was done about feeding the world, we can feed the world if we go back to our local small holding, small fold, small farm producers,
Mm.
rather than doing it on a multinational, bloody international
Yeah.
source. Because the carrots that are grown in the field at the edge of your village are the carrots that the people of that village eat. They aren't sent thousands of miles, costing whatever money and whatever in ecological terms. The air, what's it called? The air miles, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's no air mile. It's next door. That is what we should be doing.
And then
We
we
should-
can import certain foods only that we require,
Yeah.
or that
We don't need
from
to.
like. Sorry.
We don't need to.
Yeah, no, yeah, we do, because we can't grow coconuts and we can't grow pineapples.
When I
So I'm
was a
talking
kid
about-
growing up in the 70s, we ate what was seasonably available at the time.
Yep.
Yeah,
I-
but,
didn't
yeah,
have
but the
avocado.
difference is we're more we've got more civilization now, and we've got more availability.
yeah.
Right, I'm not totally against importing foods from other countries, right?
But
Because it's needed.
but importing exotic
No, it's
foods.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. Yeah,
Not need.
but not transporting our local or what could be grown locally.
Mm.
Don't do that. That's ridiculous. I'm on about exotic foods that we can't grow in this country. Yes, we should import that, as they would like our exports of extra, because there would be extra over national level to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, William Davis has also said that it was his father that taught him and told him and always took the staunch view that crop rotation, the old way of doing things, is the correct way of doing it. You know, we've been doing it for thousands of years. If it's not broke, don't fix it. It was working.
The only reason why they're trying to fix it is with artificial
Mm.
fertilizers, which you have to pay money to get.
Well, I put
Artificial seeds.
I put back to his comment that it was, that's Monsanto for you. They want a
Thank
full,
you.
they want a full monopoly on our food system. So
Yep.
we have to buy from them, or we're not going to be able to get food.
I have previously mentioned
Mm.
Monsanto's death gene,
Yeah.
haven't I?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was on a previous
Okay.
show. Mm.
Quick one for you. You know French beans? You know the thin French beans that we buy in this country in summer that we've got
Yeah.
the bud.
Oh yeah, what are they
Yeah.
called? Something. Yeah, but carry on.
Call them French beans, bobby beans, whatever you want to call them.
Mm.
For us to eat them during the winter, we get them from Egypt, and they are actually flown over here on a bloody plane.
Yep. Yeah.
Do we need them in winter?
No, we
Well,
don't.
we've got carrots and
Yeah.
just putting it out there. I'm not
Oh,
asking
yeah.
for or against. I'm just saying, do we need them?
Now you see, the best restaurants will have seasonal menus using food and produce that is seasonal and correct to the season.
Yes.
Why don't we do that?
Which is what? in the 70s,
Because we have
60s, 70s and 80s is what people ate because that was what was all only available. Now, eating avocados in the middle of winter, do you think it might be a little bit excessive?
Yep.
I don't know.
And
It depends what your perspective on,
no,
what
no,
cost
it would not for me because I'm vegan and I eat avocado quite a lot.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah,
And it and in winter it goes very well with nut roast. So for me, right, it wouldn't be a problem importing these things. It's just the amount we import,
and
because the amount that's wasted. So like Tesco's,
or
right,
how we import it.
or
how they import
what's
it.
done.
So with like Tesco's, they would order, say, 700 boxes of avocados, right? They may only sell 500 of them, and they'll literally throw the other boxes away. They'll go to waste. Now, for me, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous notion to do. It's stupid.
And there's another thing.
And that's my problem. And even people at home, they'll buy food and they'll fully throw it away or waste food. And it annoys me.
Glenn, there's another thing that our viewers actually commented on, and that's what they do whilst it's being transported. They radiate it, or they spray it with chemicals to preserve it, so it stays longer on the shelf.
Yes,
it's the way it's done. That's it.
Yeah.
The production, the whole production is systemically out of control.
Yeah, it is. It is, and it's because we as a people, as a culture, as a way of life, have continuously taken the easy way out.
Don't they spray like some sort of like?
I've seen them put it in the radiation chamber.
2 seconds. They've sprayed like over fruit and veg and that to make it shiny or something.
Yep.
That to me, like, and when people, listeners, this is how bad, right, the EU is, right, and our food system, manufacturing, whatever it is, they have a shape like a cutout of a banana shape, and if the banana doesn't fit that template, that banana is thrown away and you can't use it.
Yeah.
Did the same with cucumbers.
Yeah.
Cucumbers, carrots,
yeah,
mushrooms,
yep,
runner beans, green beans, apples, the lot, everything. It has a template. If it doesn't look that like how they perceive the perfect vegetable, which I don't understand, because what do you do with a potato? Right, you peel it, right? Guess what? When you peel it, it goes to the shape you're peeling it to. So it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah.
With an apple, you're going to eat it.
Sven, I've got one for you, mate.
Go on.
You know Hugh Fernley-Whittingstall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of a hero of mine. He did the odd shape challenge with supermarkets, odd shaped fruit and vegetables and stuff. Why aren't you selling it? Because it doesn't fit that template for that shape. He actually got Tesco's to sell imperfect. They actually marketed it.
Yeah, of course they did.
Good. Imperfectly perfect, they called it. Yeah. And they started it with parsnips. And they ran it for about 3 months. And it's not there anymore. It's not enough. Like, they've stopped doing it.
Aldi have started to introduce it, which I like. And do you know what? I purposely buy it. I purposely buy that over anything else.
Well,
what's that?
Like, so they do wonky mushrooms, wonky carrots and stuff like that. And I purposely buy them than what is the prescribed look.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you a story now. my wife loves cooking, baking, cooking, whatever.
Mm.
And a lot of the time, she expects it to turn out like you'd buy something from the supermarket. Excuse me, hiccups. And she apologises, and I turn around and say, I don't want it to look like a supermarket. I just want it to taste better than a supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, 99.99% of the time, it tastes better than what you buy in the supermarket. Even though it looks like something you wouldn't buy from a supermarket, it tastes a damn sight better.
Yep.
It's not,
Yeah.
We eat too much with our eyes. We should eat with our taste buds more.
Yeah, agreed. But do you know what? I hold a slight advantage here that I'm a chef, and David will understand this.
I'm a chef as well. Yeah.
Yeah, being a chef, yeah, exactly. When I've done meals, right? So in a past relationship, I shown this my ex about cooking and how, like, where I can buy ingredients from and how much a really good meal doesn't need to cost that much money.
Yeah.
So I went to Aldi and I cooked everything from scratch, right? And everything cost me, right, 20 quid, I think it was. But there was loads left over. There was enough there for probably another, like, 5 days. But I was just cooking a meal, so I bought, like, a packet of carrots, a packet of this, packet of that, and whatnot. It was no point just buying individual things. But I'd done this meal. I'd done a 4-course meal. And we sat down and had it, and I served it and everything. And she goes, I've ate at some top restaurants. She goes, I've never ate food like that.
Well, you know, if I could.
She goes, she goes, it didn't even cost you that much.
I know.
She goes, like, the meal would have only probably cost, like, what we ate, probably about a tenner between the both of us for all those courses. And people pay £400 to go to a restaurant to what I just ate.
Yep.
Like, if they really want that, they can pay me. I'll gladly do it for them.
Yeah, and well, in my perfect world, I would want to go and get my produce from the farmer or the farmer's market, or even the market trader. You know, the guy that stands on the stall in the open market saying, "Hey, come and buy my 2 punnets for £1."
That used to be your local farmer.
Yeah, that used
like
to be
your cousin or something.
Yeah, that used to be the way to do it, or you go to the local butchers. But
and I would do the same if I had because I want to open a deli, a superfood deli, right? So it's really healthy, really good food. You get a really good understanding, but also on the back of that, I want to try and, or at the same time, it'd be quite cool. Open a cannabis cafe.
The Brave New World.
In the New World?
Yeah, in our Brave New World.
I want to do that exact same thing in, like, a superfood deli, which does a full circle and brings me to the thing that Nigel said about having local farmers.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have a local farmer to hit my produce, and I thought, in my local area, I have a lot of farmers, but they only do specific things. But in what Nigel's saying and what I thought of, having local farmers doing lots of things, everything, well, it's there ready available. I can just go and get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I'd like to be one of those little farmers. That's what I want to be.
We should set up a business, Dave. You could do one up north. I could have one in the middle. Yeah. You could have one down south. There.
I'm down south.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're down south. We've got the whole spine of the country. We just need someone in Scotland. Maybe someone in Wales. And we're sorted.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I tell you my dream?
Go ahead.
Go
on. Yeah, it's quite elaborate because it needs a lot of money, and obviously one of them is winning Euro Millions, 174 million quid.
Don't worry, the Brave New World is coming. The Brave New World is coming, and all that march together will be able to get a slice of the pie.
With that money, rather than living a lavish lifestyle, what I would want to do is, and worked it out, roughly buy 500 homes stroke flats and rent them out. And I would rent them out to people that can afford them. Not ripping them off, renting them slightly lower than the going standard, so that it brings the prices down a bit across the board.
Yeah.
In a given town. So if the going rate for a 3-bed terraced house is 800, well, I might rent mine out for 700. I'm not complaining because I've got the cash, I've paid for the house, so anything else is just profit on top.
You're just helping out the next man.
Yeah, so you're lowering the price across the board anyway, which is good for everybody. And obviously these 500 houses need upkeep. So what I would do, I would employ tradespeople, sparkies, chippies, plumbers, window fitters, etc., to look to maintain these houses on a good, proper basis, so they are properly maintained.
Yeah.
But I would take on apprentices.
Incorporate that the people that work for you through subcontracting have to have an apprentice.
I wouldn't have subcontractors. I would employ them myself.
Oh, employ them, and they'd have to have an apprentice each.
I would take on 2 apprentices for every tradesperson, and the apprentices I would take on would be homeless people.
Yep. No, they wouldn't be homeless. They'd be the ones living in some of the houses.
Yeah, some of my houses are flats, probably managed with a manager and security, and the homeless people would be given somewhere to live and looked after if they wanted it, and given a job as an apprentice, plumber, sparky, chippy, bricky, whatever, managing and maintaining the houses that my company, I wouldn't do it a charity because I don't believe in charity.
Yep.
It would be a company looking after people locally. Any profit would be ploughed back in to employ more unemployed or unemployable, what they class as unemployable people, to give them a trade. And then I took it one step further and thought, yeah, I've done that bit for that kind of area. Then I'm thinking, all right, well, I'm looking after homeless, unemployed people who've been given up on by the system, not given a chance. And I'm thinking, what about the elderly? What could I do for them? And I'm thinking, So I started looking at rural areas, and I've done quite a lot of research because it's something I feel kind of strongly about. And what I would do is, going back to the farming theme that we've been talking about.
You see, I've been having thoughts about this as well, about my farm.
I've been thinking, right, selling up, right. Buy a farm with whatever land, whatever size it is, and accordingly, rather than just mass producing whatever the bloody country needs or whatever whatever's required.
The supermarket's demand.
Do you mean the EU quota?
Yeah.
GMO soil, the EU quota, sod that. No. I'd diversify. You'd have one field of this, one field of that, one field of this sheep and one field of that cow or whatever. And whatever you produce, you sell locally. Nothing goes more than 20, 30 miles from in a radius from where you produce it.
Yeah.
And you set up not a local butcher's shop per se, unless you're going to buy it yourself, then there's no costing rent or anything else like that. But then you've got excessive business rates, excessive business electricity rates. Do you know the rates for electricity for a busined?
No, I don't, but I know the business rates around here are about 12 grand a year.
If we paid 50p per kilowatt hour, for example, for electricity, a business pays about £15 per kilowatt hour. Yeah, it is excessively higher. And I'm thinking, Jesus, who wants to get a shop then? So what I would do is get your local vans going around like you used to do donkeys years ago.
You meet your fish, your milk,
your van, veg van. Even if it's all in one or all separate, you go to all these little outlying areas and do it. And what I would do is, because mainly for knowledge, a lot of these villages have got a little enclave of retired people. Retired people have a lot of knowledge. You know? And what I would do is vegetables, because they're cheap to produce. And if you've got a big farm, you can cover the cost. All the veggies, all the retired pensioners, all pensioners, I would give veggies free. They get a certain amount every week, but it would be free. If they wanted meat, it would be at cost. Anything else you produced over and above that, you sell it to make a profit. But the basic is, you're looking after where your farm is, you're looking after your local area.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you wanted any knowledge, you can go to that person and say, got a bit of a problem, local thing. Give me some knowledge on that, and they'd tell you, and they'd want to help you. Because they're getting something for free, they feel included because it's part of their community.
Yep.
And it is community-based thing. Yeah? You're going to piss some people off.
Good.
Even just doing that, let alone renting out cheaper than everybody else. But the aim of the game is not to make a profit. It's to sustainable, to increase what you've got so you can help more people, not to make a profit at the end of the day.
Do you know who it'd only piss off? It'd only pick off these globalists, the corporations.
Yeah.
Because in some sort of sense, right, that's in a little bit like the truest form of corporatism. Where you allow the local businesses to grow, but you allow other businesses who are successful to grow to that size.
Glenn, we touched on this point before, didn't we? We coined a phrase of it, of national capitalism.
Yes.
And I think that should be our basic system, national capitalism. Or local capitalism, if you want to break it down and devolve it even further.
Well, if we think about it, we live in corporatism, and I think we need to educate people on that.
Yeah.
That we don't live in capitalism, which is why we get these anti-fascists, because they think we live in capitalism, but we live in corporatism.
Yeah.
If we lived in capitalism, they'd understand. But I know they're paid for, but some people see their views and like, oh yeah, because they're that silly to believe what they're saying. Because they don't think of the bigger picture. But it's corporatism. It's definitely corporatism that we live in, and not capitalism. Capitalism works.
Can I put this into a different perspective?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
We're talking about capitalism, corporatism, and how much things cost nowadays to how much you think it should cost.
Yeah.
Because you've got an idea in your head, if you want something, I am willing to prepare to pay this amount of money. And when you go along and actually find out how much it costs, you're usually in for quite a big shock.
Oh, I normally go with a can of Coke. A can of Coke is sugar and water. That's pretty much it. Yeah. How much they charge for it? What's their profit margin on it?
I don't drink Coke.
Yeah.
But I can imagine it's about £1 a can, 80p, 90p a can.
Yep.
And to me, that is not value for money.
No, it's not.
No. I refuse to buy it on that purpose, on that basis of how expensive it is for what you're actually getting.
Yes.
It's and that's why, do you know what? That's why I shop at Aldi's. And one of the reasons, should I say, I shop at Aldi's is because one, they're a fair price, right, for the produce. And two, they don't use, or they try to use as little GMOs and the tiniest amount of pesticides as possible in their fruits and veggies and that. And they're quite fair in the game. And if more people use them, I think it'd get a lot better.
Well, what I saw with the Coca-Cola debate,
like the ridiculous packaging that Tesco's has. Aldi doesn't have that ridiculous sort of packaging.
Branding. Branding.
And
That's what it
branding,
is.
yes.
Branding is a huge part of corporatism. Because
Yes.
branding and then culture and then corporatism all going hand in hand, working together to rip us all off like freaking mugs.
Yeah, you could have a pair of socks, or you could have a T-shirt, one saying Nike on it, right, and one not saying anything, right?
Both produced in the
Someone
same
will buy
factory.
that Nike one because of it, and it's exactly the same. There's no difference, but someone will pay the extra 30 quid for the Nike one because it's got Nike on it rather than just the plain one.
Selfishness.
Ask a question, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. You go to Tesco's and their 1 kilo bag of carrots is 60p. You go to Aldi or Lidl and then same bag of carrots are 30 pence. Now, consumerism says that you're going to go where the cheapest is, which is 30 pence. Bear in mind the farmer, somewhere along the line, loses something in there. And I'm not saying that the Tesco farmer gets more money. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. Now, if a supermarket had the balls to turn round and say, which I don't think they will, and I would love to be this supermarket, that I turn round and say, right, Nigel Brown Supermarket sells its carrots for 30 pence a kilo. However, 30 pence is our cost and our profit, which we make a little bit of openness how much profit they make. But we're going to charge 40 pence from now on, and that extra 10 pence that you're paying goes direct to the farmer. How many people would pay and go to the supermarket that says that extra 10 pence goes to the farmer and actually proves it, and it actually does go to the bloody farmer? I would be shopping at that supermarket where I paid 10 pence extra and guaranteed I knew it went to the farmer.
Yep. Excellent. That'll be,
And I think everybody can agree with that one.
I think that's a great step on the way to the brave new world. That
we've got no openness of how much we spend at Tesco's or Lidl or Aldi or anywhere else, how much actually goes to the farmer. We've heard the horror stories of Tesco's saying to a farmer, we will buy 10 fields of your cabbages this time in May, in 6 months' time when we're all fully grown. And their buyers turn up and go, oh, we promised you 50 pence a cabbage. Ooh, it's going to be more like 20p a cabbage now. And the farmer goes, I can't do anything. He's got no other buyer. He either sells them for 20p or he churns them back into the field.
Yeah.
That is wrong.
Disgusting, I know. Yeah. But like you're saying with that New Way supermarket, great stuff, great idea. And I think it's a great stepping stone on the way to our new world, the brave new world. Because a lot of people are still going to want to shop at a supermarket. So to have the right sort of supermarket with the right sort of mentality will be a great...
You still have to give people choice.
Yeah.
We do. Do you guys have a, if you like, a laid out format of the brave new world of this is what we're going to do and this is how it's going to do it, as in laid down in a procedure and a process?
I'm not going to lie.
No. We're working on it.
See, for me, the first I've heard about this brave new world is just now.
I just made it up.
Yeah. What we have to think is we're not laying out a set plan for everything, because that's not
our way.
What happened before. That's what happened before, and things went wrong. All we're doing is just throwing out ideas that we think could work and could benefit us. This is not us saying that we're going to take over the world and do this is what's going to happen, because that would make people rebel. It's just giving people the other option and the other version of what what's available.
Yeah, Glenn.
We
Glenn,
don't have to
Glenn.
stick to the narrative that we're told. It's
Have
yeah.
you tried?
We
putting
spend
it
a
out
lot of
there?
we spend a lot of time.
Yeah, so for me, I have, yes, I've said a lot of things in a lot of speeches that I've done, and people like I'll put it today. Someone who I work with explaining a few things about like the EU and political system and things like that, and what I think would be beneficial. And there was a couple of people that go, Glenn, have you actually thought about running for Prime Minister? Because Glenn, your views are they're right. And on a logical scale, even to the simplest form, would work.
Yeah.
Or not only would it work, or on the flip side of that's so true. Like if you break it down, like when I broke down the tax and how it's all like the VAT system and stuff like that, and how we subsidise for corporations, and then like with the 57p. For every pound of taxpayers' money that goes to the EU, they keep 57p of it. And I'm like, that 57p, you add that up for every pound that you pay, and then you add that for that and then I said, for every single person in this room over the whole year, I was like, and then think about how many people are in similar rooms like this across the whole country, and then you've got to think of the factories and all of those, and the shops and the train services and the bus services, and fuel stations where you pick up your fuel, the bloke you buy fixes your car, everything. I was like, think how much that is. I was like, that's a lot of money they keep and we don't get to spend. This is where that, I don't know. I think it was more than 350 million. It probably is 350 million a week. That's probably where that figure comes from. Is that 57p?
Oh. Sorry, I'm just watching. I've got muted on the TV, Sky News, and there's a lady just got her breasts out, literally, and it's something to do with, well, I don't know what it's to do with.
Feminazis? The goddamn feminazis?
It's quite strange, actually. I'm not adverse to a female breast, I must admit, but on mainstream media news, it was.
No, it's past the watershed. Anyways, I was just about to highlight that on this show we do spend a lot of time saying the world's a bad place, everything's bad, everything's awful, blah 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 blah. But we also concentrate on how we would make it better.
And that's why I like coming in and chatting. Actually,
I think that.
Wait, let him finish. Go
very fractal thinking, aren't we? I thought. Sorry.
Go on, Nigel.
She's got a breast out again, and there's a guy touching them.
Breakdown of morals.
It looks as supposed to be surgical. It's not what you expect to see on Sky News, actually.
Well, once you look at it from our point of view, it is, because it's part of the breakdown of morality, and it's very well staged.
Accepting that breasts can be shown and if it's not got a 9 number in front of the channel, it shouldn't really be shown, I don't think. True choice. I'm not adverse, don't get me wrong. The female form is very nice.
Sorry.
But it's not the time and the place.
Probably the time, because it's quite late.
Yeah, past the watershed.
So I'll give the watershed. I'm no what's her name? Shirley, whatever her name was, or Mary. The one who was against
Mary Whitehall or something like that.
Mary Whitehouse. That's the
Whitehouse. Yeah.
I'm no prude. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, it's just them things that take you aback and you go, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening like that nowadays where you just go, what?
Well, I was just about to say.
Yeah, go ahead, Glenn. Go on, I'm going to have to end up soon.
I put a post on my page about Amazon selling child sex dolls. And they are, yes. These are already available for these people.
Goddamn Bezos.
Did you know that doctors give books for paedophiles to read of certain nature, describing children?
Blah, 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 blah.
Which to me is still paedophilia, and they shouldn't be allowed it. And the doctors should not be encouraging this. These people should just be in prison. They're not safe in society.
Yeah.
That is a fact. Okay? And that's not because I want to cage them up like they're animals. It's because they do have a tendency and they are unsafe at any time around children.
Yeah, you cannot trust them.
Children are everywhere.
Yep, you cannot trust them.
Various ages.
Right.
In what way do they think that might help? I don't know, rehabilitation or...
It doesn't. It encourages.
Yeah.
It encourages, and what it's doing is it's this fact.
Normalising
so people see that it's dolls, right? They can make it. The way people are programmed, they'll automatically think that's a normal child, and then over a period of time, it will just become acceptable to certain people. And you've got a certain community that is very engaged in this sort of acts with paedophilia on a gang scale, shall I say.
I can see the initial thought process that they're going down, that you give them a doll instead of an actual human. So they're putting their tendencies towards a doll rather than a human, which is better, but how long can they sustain that?
Yeah, but the problem is, the reason why they go after children is the dominance and the emotion and scare factor.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
difference.
the twisted in the brain.
They don't get that from a doll.
No.
They don't get that sort of sensation of this child's scared of me and I'm dominating over it. And that's why they do it. It's not even because they just want children. They do it because they're just sick in the head and they just want dominance. And they just need locking up.
Glenn, I'm not sure. I'm not disagreeing with anything you say. I cannot get myself inside the head of a paedophile.
No,
I just can't do it.
I already have. It hits a bit close to home to me.
But
I've tried because I find it a very interesting subject. You've all seen Silence of the Lambs, yeah?
Yeah.
You know the guy who's in charge of Starling?
Yeah.
Crawford. Yeah. His name, who they took it as, is a name guy called John Daniels. I think it's John Daniels. Anyway, this guy, he, back in the 60s and 70s, was the head of the FBI profiling department. And they went into countless prisons and interviewed countless serial killers and found out why, what, where, when, and basically what was going on with you when you did it. And from all the information they got from interviewing all these killers, they could start profiling serial killers, which actually you can akin it to paedophiles as well. And I read quite a few books on John Douglas, John Daniels, whatever his name is. And basically he said on one of his books, and I quote it every time, and I believe it's true. And he said, serial killers, and you can take this as paedophiles as well, they are not born killers or paedophiles, they are made into them by their upbringing, by their early years, if you like. And he went through various cases that he covered,
on serial killing, and every time he pinned it back, person's upbringing.
Yeah,
And
freaking
it
chills
was
down my
so
back now.
good. It was so good that he could pin it down that he could say, that is the type of car that that person drives. That is the type of job that that person has. And he can give an age range, he can give a racial profile on it, and most of the time it was white between the ages of 19 and 29, because that's the range. And it did it really well. And you can do it with paedophiles as well. Now, paedophilia isn't just within that age range like serial killers is. Paedophilia covers an age range from early all the way up until they die. And I know that because my first wife was abused by her stepdad, and he ended up marrying, which is really sick. He ended up marrying my wife's stepsister. He was married to my wife's mum. She died, and he ended up marrying his stepdaughter and having kids. And strangely enough, he's had 3 daughters. So the cycle continues. You know what I mean?
Oh, blah.
Yeah, it really is. And yes, it fucking grates. It really is sick.
Yeah.
And going back to serial killers aren't born, they're made. If they are made, they are susceptible to outside influences. In other words, they cannot distinguish themselves between right and wrong. They do not have the ability to say, no, that's wrong. And if you apply the same thing with paedophilia, they can't apply the same process. There is wrong, there is no, I shouldn't be doing that. Therefore, a lot of people, they are, and I'm not making excuses for them, they are criminalised. Which, yes, it's a criminal offence because you are affecting harm and loss on another person. But it is a mental illness, which I believe strongly there is no cure for.
You can't cure paedophilia, like you can't cure a serial killer. Like you can't cure these people. They are mentally deranged and have a completely different concept of an outlook of life. And they just need locking away for their own safety as well, in all honesty, because let out into the real world, like knowing who they are, there'll be a lot of people that would really want to off them. So it's for their own safety that they're in them places, but mainly for the safety of others. And that would be my main, first and foremost, is the safety of others, children, especially with paedophilia.
All right, guys. Sorry to butt in and put this thing, but I think we have to come to a close in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a bit late. We're going 3 hours. Thank you very much for everybody for watching. Great stuff. Subscribe if you can. Everyone. Subscribe if you like. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up. Click on the bell and stuff. And
Dave, before you go, can I just mention one quick thing?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched The Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. What's the main guy who's quite...
Sheldon Cooper.
Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah.
Have you heard his laugh, Glenn?
Yes.
And when Dave laughs, do you think it's a little bit Sheldon Cooperish?
It can be, yeah.
Maybe.
It depends how high he goes, yeah.
Dave, that is no detriment. I am not taking the piss. That is quite a compliment because I love Sheldon Cooper.
Oh, cheers.
He's a character, isn't he? Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, he's a character. But yeah.
I'm quite saddened that we're coming to an end. Actually, I was really enjoying tonight.
Yeah, it's been a good show. I've really enjoyed it as well, and the many more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome to come back, Nigel. Welcome to come back and be a guest at any time you like. It's an open forum.
Thank you. Sometimes I must admit, I do waffle on.
Oh, we all do.
We do. Oh.
And so she's got a breast out again on fucking Sky. I'm quite shocked. Anyway, yes, I sometimes do waffle on. I try to keep fairly factual, and I like to play devil's advocate.
Well,
there's no problem in that because it brings new meaning into it.
Yeah, signs of a great guest. It is.
Yes.
Because what this is, the hive mind, is to get more guests involved, get more people talking, get more callers in, get more experts to call in as well, or people that have got real life experience with dealing with, you know, the deep state, the Illuminati, and problems in society that we're facing.
And that's why I like what involving in this program, because it has got that. Rather than there are certain other things out there that are quite not narrow-minded, but stick to a prescribed script. Whereas this, we can go in any direction.
No script here.
Yeah.
We don't know what a script is. That's what the MSM do. They have scripts, teleprompters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we go off in different directions.
Every
we come
time.
back to a norm, and then we go off in different directions. But we all respect each other's perspective on things, which I like.
And isn't it funny how, like, when we start a conversation, whatever we start a conversation on at the beginning of a show, in some roundabout way, towards the end of the show or at the end of the show, it returns back to it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, and links back, or links and makes links midway through.
And even if it's, it can be at any level that it links, because, like we said about education, that education runs straight through life, doesn't it?
Yeah, we're all always learning.
Did you see the thing? I don't know how true it is. I'm just repeating what I saw on Facebook, that they want to homeschooling kind of get rid of it because it might encourage extremism.
Yep. Oh, Glenn, you know that.
Is that how they're going to cover it up to stop people do it so that it doesn't get extremism? What, right-wing extremism or Muslim extremism?
I think it might be pointed at to stop people educating their children.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what are they classing as this extremism? Is it the right-wing extremism that they're going on about, or the Islamic extremism?
Well, it certainly won't be left-wing extremism, will it?
No. I think it's actually put it this way. It's to stop your children.
Yeah, no.
Wait. Let him finish, Glenn.
I know what they're going to portray it as, because that's my first thought when you said it, is that they're going to stop homeschooling, ban homeschooling. But what are they actually saying? What type of extremism are they pointing at when they're telling this so-called news? That's what I'm asking.
They won't.
Oh, it won't be Islamic extremism.
So it'd be right-wing extremism.
No,
okay.
I don't like to use that term.
No.
No. When I asked what they were saying, not what we think or what we would say, what they were actually saying.
Yeah, it'll be to stop right-wing extremism, but we'll say it's to stop people thinking on their own behalf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Forced indoctrination.
Of course that is. They'll say it's the one thing. Like, they'll show you the right hand and the left hand. That's what need to watch the left hand, because that's what's really happening.
They won't ever tell their ulterior motives. They'll never tell you their ulterior motives or the secret reason why.
Motive.
And Glenn,
haven't they got something coming in for vaccines as well? Like, there's a mandatory for certain vaccines that is coming into EU legislation very soon.
Well, yeah. And remember that article I said, Glenn, about education and them not being allowed to teach British values?
Oh, yeah.
It was Breitbart.
Of course it would be.
Yeah, so one of at least the truth-telling media organisations.
A very trusted source, as well as True Pundit, Conservative Treehouse, Drudge can be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few good sources out there for information.
Yeah. And so are we.
Yay! Yeah, we are, because we're the ones that compile this together and get it out there. And if people want it, we've got it available.
And we talk.
We know where it is. We know where the source is. We can direct people to it. So it's not like we're talking out of our bums like the MSM do.
And we talk about it naturally. We talk about it like normal people do, and like normal people would.
Yeah. We don't, and if we're giving our opinion, it is our opinion. Like if like when Nigel asked about like the local farming, what do we think? Well, he already directed us. What do you think? And then we reiterated by saying, "Well, I think
this is what I would do." Yeah.
But like, if you watch the BBC, they don't do that. They do it as if it's a factual conversation that they're having, not an opinion based.
Yeah. I think, I saw some headline somewhere and it said something we need to do. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's an opinion.
Who's we?
Who's we?
Yeah.
And where's this need come from? Who's needing?
Yeah, no one needs anything apart from food and water and love and care.
Our language on here and each of our opinions or thoughts and processes, we do not use the words we, I think, and you should think the same kind of terms inclusively like the mainstream media do, because they use the word, excuse me, got hiccups, to include you in the conversation as though we expect you to believe what we're telling you. Yeah?
Yeah.
We put things out there, and I'm a good player at devil's advocate. I don't mean to be. Well, actually, I bloody do.
You enjoy it, really, Nigel.
But not to wind people up.
Oh, no.
But to draw people in, just to get people thinking from different angles.
Yeah.
Get people bloody thinking.
Because if you do play devil's advocate, we are challenged at what we think and what we believe and what we want. And, and that makes us go deeper. It makes us go deeper into things.
So if Nigel was asking us something like playing devil's advocate and we're making a point, it helps us to elaborate on it and maybe look at it from a different perspective.
And possibly change our view.
Elaboration.
And possibly change our view.
And it also, when I play devil's advocate and I say such and such, and you say again what you've said, it also makes you look at what you've said and either try to reword it better. Better's not perhaps the word. To put it across in a better way, or to actually question yourself and think,
simplify or enhance,
articulate,
articulate
what I've heard. I only play devil's advocate because I listen to YouTube guys, and I love it. I can see one and the other, and I come in and put something there, and you end up both agreeing, which I'm thinking, well, that was the point in question at the first point, but you're both coming in from different angles. And not just you, it happens with everybody. They're arguing for the same thing, but from different arguments, but with the same end goal, but they both can't see it. And I find it quite interesting that two different groups of people with different background ideas and thoughts can argue against each other, but in the same thing,
they're all arguing for the same thing.
Do you know what the problem is? I can explain that very simply. People don't know language. People don't know grammar. People don't know syntax. People don't understand how to construct a sentence. And my problem, I have a major problem because I use words in their truest form and grammar in its truest form, and people get confused because they don't understand what I'm saying, because this second grade language that they're stuck in.
Yeah.
Would either of you believe that I'm dyslexic?
I wouldn't. I couldn't say, not on a speaking level. Definitely not. You can iterate your sentences and your words, and you've got good grammar. Yeah, when you speak.
Yeah. But when I try, I can't write it down for shit.
Yeah, but like people have different levels of dyslexia and stuff like that. So you might have a better capability of constructing sentences, speaking rather than writing.
Well, I've found out that my IQ and my intellect covers up for my dyslexia a lot. So all the way through school, I was seen as stupid because I wasn't good at English. I couldn't write down the thoughts that I had. Whereas, as I've grown up and got a lot, it's turned
But Glenn,
I'm far smarter than they thought I am.
Yes, Nigel.
Glenn.
Yes.
My thing is in training people, and I used to train people on the railway. And a lot of people on the railway, a lot of people I used to train were subcontractors. And bless them, lovely people, but they were so insecure solely because of previous educational experiences, which was obviously not very good. And they used to turn up into my class of 12, and I used to be stood there with a suit and tie, which was obviously very authoritative.
Mm-hmm.
And the first people that turned up always used to sit at the back. And you could tell the ones that had not a very good experience at school.
Mm-hmm.
He always used to go to the back and sit there with the arms folded. In other words, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be educated. You're going to patronize me, and you're going to hate me, and you're going to fail me.
Yeah.
And everybody else used to pile in and fill the spaces that was left. And put it this way, I am not educated to a degree level, excuse me. I worked my way up the hard way. And I used to go straight to the back of the guys at the back and say to them, you hate being here, guys. You imagine yourselves 20, 30 years ago at school with a teacher, and you absolutely fucking hate it. As soon as I said the word fucking hate it, you could see them relax.
Yeah.
Because that's war. And then I used to go back to the front, and I said, we'll do around the table. Who's who, where you from, what you do, blah, 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 blah. I said, but before you get the chance, you at the front, we'll go round, I'll talk about me first. And I said to him, fine, this is me, I've been on the railway this amount of time, I'm not perfect. Smoke, I drink shitloads of caffeine, and I drive 250-mile round trip to get home. My wife's a fucking cow. I hate her and can't wait to leave. But I'm here, I'm training you, and I will help you in any way, shape, or form I can for you to learn something. Not to dish you, put you down, or anything else like that. I'm here to help you. Come and talk to me, and we'll sort it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you
First, who are you? What you do? Went round the table, and within 20 minutes, I had the full trust of all of them.
Well, that's a good educator.
Because it was open, honest, transparent, and there was no ulterior motive. You was there for a reason, and because you're all on the same level, you just got a knowledge of something that they've got to learn.
Because I was human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was them.
You understood not just one person, but every single one on an individual scale.
People had the same issue. I got sent on a training program to train guys down at Avonmouth in Bristol, and they worked on the railway, but they were tarmackers. So the only job that they got to do was tarmac
level crossings,
the platform.
Oh,
they didn't get on the track; they just tarmac the platforms. They were on a shit wage, and they worked nights, and they tarmac the platforms. One day we were at this station. Next night they were at another. We got treated like shit. And I went down to training one day, and I turned up at this place, and all subcontractors, and subcontractors treated like shit. And their training manager came out and he said, "I don't know if you heard last week, but we had another trainer down from another company, and it was just a basic PTS, which is personal track safety course, and if you fail it, you are a fucking numpty." And he said he failed all 12 of them. And I went, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, they failed all." He said he failed all 12 of them. And I went, "Well, I've done about 1,000 of these courses, and maximum I failed 2 on a course." And he said, "Yeah, they failed all 12. And I went, right, I've got a problem here then. He went, "No, you haven't." "No, you haven't." He said, "One guy on the course is dyslexic." And I went, "Oh, is he?" And he went, "Yeah." "Is that a problem?" And I went, "No." I said, "If he's dyslexic, does he know he's dyslexic? Openly admits it?" And he went, "Oh, yeah. Everybody on the course knows he's dyslexic." He said, "The guy last week got told he's dyslexic, and the trainer turned around and said, 'Well, if you can't answer the questions and write them down, you fucking failed.'" And I went, "Oh, not very good." The guys turned in, came into the classroom, sat down, all arms folded, very negative. And as soon as I started, I went, "Who's the guy who got failed last week?" And they all looked at him and I went, "Oh, that'll be you then." And because he's dyslexic, obviously he's feeling a bit intimidated.
Yeah.
I said, "I heard you had a problem last week with matey." I said, "You tell me what happened, not you guys, his mates, because his mates stuck up for him. You tell me what happened." And he said, "Well, I came into the training course. I said to the trainer, I can't read and write very well." He said, "But I can take information in and I can repeat it, but I can't put it down on paper."
Yeah.
And I went, "What happened?" He said, "Well, the trainer said, well, if you can't fill in the paper at the end for the questions and everything," he said, "if you can't do it, you failed." And all his mates got on his case and said, "What does it fucking mean?" But the trainer looked. And I said, "Okay, so you can't read and write?" And he went, "No." I said, "But you can retain information." And yeah. And I said, "So at the end, when we do the assessment, if I ask you a question, you'll be able to give me the answer." And he went, "Oh, yeah." He says, "I'll remember it like nobody's business. I've got a fucking brilliant memory because I can't read and write. I've got to have a good memory." I went, "All right. So if I ask you a question at the end and you give me the answer and I write it down and it's correct and I pass you, everything's good." And he went, "Yeah. Why didn't you other guy do that?" And I went, "Professionally, because we're all trainers and everything." I said, "But unofficially, he's a tosser."
Yeah. And he's not able to think outside the box.
Yeah. And all his mates looked at me and went, "So you can help him?" And I went, of course you'll fucking help him. I said, he failed because you lot got on the trainer's back, backing him up. And be honest, the trainer was an arsehole. He should have sat down and done it as a one-to-one and done it properly. You guys are right, and fair play, I take my hat off to you guys for standing up for your mate. And I said, when we've done this course, you guys will do you do the assessment, the written assessment. You will sit outside, and when these guys are done, I'll get you in, and I will ask you the questions. You will give me the answer. I will write it down. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. That's all I'm going to do. And that took half an hour. And the training manager for that group said, you're going to have a hard time of it. And within half an hour, I had every one of them eaten out of my fucking hand. And every one of them were helping their matey who couldn't read and write. They were helping him. I was helping him. I told them everything they needed to know. And the second day, it came to the assessment side of it, which is a practical and a theory assessment. The practical's easy because you're just following people. But when it came to the theory assessment, like if you like an exam, they had to do it themselves. They went out, he came in, and I said to him, do you want an independent person at the side of you to make sure that I'm writing down what you tell me? And he goes, no. And I goes, well, you're entitled to it. He says, no, I trust you.
Yeah.
Because you said what you said. If I give you the answer, I trust you to write down what I say. He says, because I do not believe that you want me to fail. I says, yes, I don't want you to fail, but I'm not going to artificially pass you because you've got a disability. I'm not going to favour you. Anyway, that's all I want. And there was 22 questions, yeah? And through the previous day, when I was going through the spiel and all that lot, he wrote nothing down because he couldn't write out down. And it was quite disconcerting that he was not writing anything down. I'm going, you need to write stuff down. He wrote nothing down. And he, in his theory assessment, I asked him the question, he gave me the answer, and he got 100%.
Yep.
He answered every one, and I took my hat off to him, and I said to his mates, I said, this guy, he's fucking spot on. And the manager, of the training manager, came to me afterwards, and he said, how the hell did you get them guys eating out of your hand? These are area tarmacking guys, yeah.
Grufty people.
I was honest with them. I didn't bullshit them. I wasn't their mates. I was just honest with them. And he went, I've tried for years to get them on side, and it just seems a battle. And I says, it doesn't need to be a battle, guys. These guys want to do a job. They want to earn money. That's all they want to do. They don't want the bullshit either side. You've got to deal with the bullshit, and you've got to put it to them in a certain way that you're dealing with their bullshit. They've just got to help you a little bit so that you're taking the pressure on. You win them over. It's got to be the friend, not their enemy.
Yep, it's working together.
If you want.
Yeah, work together.
And
Teamwork.
That to me in my training time was my coup de grace. If you like, you know, if you can imagine Richard Hammond in his Ford Mustang, yeah, driving out of a quarry, waving his hand out the window, going, yes, I fucking done it. That was my day. That was my fucking wave the hand out the window. Not because
I'd achieved something, but because I'd achieved something for a person, for someone who felt better about themselves at the end of that day, who walked in in day one, who felt shit. They walked out at the end of day two and felt better for themselves. And that was my hand waving day for somebody else. And that's the way I look at it. Making somebody else's life better.
Leaving the world a better place than what you find it. Even on every scale.
Yes, by not being selfish, by doing something for somebody else, whatever it is.
And on that note, lovely story, great to bring about the point and bring about the real life issues to it as well, which is great. You know, we see a lot has been unpersonalized and unindividualized. So yeah, I think that was a great point, a great show, and a great time to end it. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody who might be watching this later on or on another day. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you like. If you want to come and join us on the show.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff. Bye.
Doodles.